I'm just a happy camper.
Beef jerky?
No, no, son, thank you very much. No, it gives me the wind, something terrible.
Oh.
Sorry, I farted. I'm dead sexy. I'm dead sexy.
I guess what I learned most of all was that you should always take responsibility for your actions, unless you don't have to.
There we go. So I had a little crash right before going on the air. So had a little restart happening. All right. Fade it in. Let's just count it in. Hi. How are you? Oh, good God. I have to say, Sexy Liberal Week is it's a tooth pull. It's a lot. Yeah, I watched the Rudy part of the Borat movie as well. Just ew. Dude's an autopilot. Like, oh, a 15-year-old girl's going with me into a hotel room. I think I'll just lay down and start fidgeting in my pants. Like, it happens all the time. Yeah, I'm fairly close to fried, although I have to confess something. In the last 72 hours, I get really inspired, you know, when I'm, hi Murph, I'm streaming. What? Poor baby. The cat is outside the door, just like, whoa, why is the door closed? So it's closed, so you don't come in here and chew everything. But anyways, without me keeping an eye on him. I went very long last night. Yeah, it's a lot. And so anyways, in the lead up to Sexy Liberal, I don't want to give anything away because people pay good money to see the show, and that's part of the thing, is the fun reveal of it. But let me see, how can I give you a let me give you an example of something that I worked on for it. It just gives you a kind of a ballpark idea. Right here. Which one? I mean, I posted some I posted some. But this is just an example. I'm pulling something up real quick. Posted a piece of this. So my compositing skills in After Effects are getting way better. That's all I'm showing. The rest of it, you have to go to Sexy Liberal to the show, actually. See, and then see this. Whoops, I want to do that. Go back to where I was. There, open that up. Doing. I know it can't. No, it can't open the page. Come on now. Oh, and don't start on me, Trump. Don't do it. Do not do it. Oh, nope. I don't like haze in a spray can. What are we talking about? Full screen is clicking.
Hundreds of thousands. Oh
no, not right side. You poor dears. Whatever will you do when he loses? I'm kidding. They'll become a PR company that specializes in militias. Here we go. Now I'll open this up. Here's another sample. That's all I'm showing you. I'm not showing you anymore. But I like the amount of production I'm doing on my own during this whole nonsense. Like I spend. Hold on, I have to move this up. Squeeze this in real quick. I'm particularly proud of the graphics on this one, just because they're awful, not fake news, FNN, and the graphic of Trump in the corner. I'm not going to say what that bit is about. But and then I think some of you, this is what threw me for a loop, was I was in the middle of working on all those pieces, plus a few, plus or minus, and then this happened. I was literally shooting the country music video when the 60 minutes thing dropped, and so I was like, I have to do something for this, but I don't want to like dress up as Leslie Stahl or any bullshit like that. So that's all I'm showing. Yeah. So anyways, the last 2 days I have and hats off to Rob Glenn again for all of his the computer blessings. But I have been putting this laptop through its paces. When you have Premiere and After Effects, Audition, which is an audio manipulating thing, and Logic open all at the same time. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna after today's stream, I'm gonna make a commercial for the Sexy Liberal thing for a last minute push for tickets. So let's see. Like George Stephanopoulos in that clip? No, I'll tell you where I look like George Stephanopoulos, kind of. The problem with all these too is that I'm all bloated when we're doing these because I'm worn out doing this. But we did this too. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm not showing you the rest. So anyways, those all review those all land tomorrow night for Sexy Liberal. Yeah. Sorry, Sammy. Keep me informed. Rudy is Trump's right-hand man. But I mean, guys, didn't you hear? That story's old news and fake news too. Can't we tell you? Dude, I can't stop lying. I am so excited about that day when that comes. Yes, I'm not taking my laptop to a blind computer guy. But anyway, so I've been burning the candle at both ends and trying to light the middle. So yeah. Yes, I did, Kim. Og. All right, here we go. Let's start. Hey, Gonzo, how are you? Scott Atlas should what? Sorry. I'm not doing spoilers. Those are teasers. All set up, no punchline. That's the rule, man. Loved Borat. Amazing. Scott Atlas should have held a big globe on his back, right? Scott Atlas shrugs. Yeah, I saw Junior's flail about. Hold on one second. So in case some of you don't know, Don Jr. was poked out of his skull on Hannity last night after the debate because nothing landed. Some of you guys were there, but the till-deer on this is nothing moved the needle in Trump's favor. Biden held his own. It was basically Trump trying to gish gallop a bunch of lies against Biden and hope some of them stuck. Biden was literally shocked and laughing the vast majority of the time, and it was genuine and you could see it. It's like if somebody walked up to you and went, "There he is. That's the dude that keyed my car." And you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, dude, his officer, not only did he key my car, but he still got my cat. And you're like, okay, this guy's nuts. Like at a certain point, you know what I mean? If you just start throwing a bunch of, and by the way, I would like to take a moment in my ADD brain spreading all over the place, but to welcome all the people who are watching from outside the United States. I understand that your life rides on our election, and I am voting for decency, normalcy, kindness, goodness, functioning government. I'm voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and so we're all doing our best. And most of the people that you'll see in the chat rooms here are paid a small stipend to sit on with like 5 chats open and just tap Trump 2020 and stuff. There's a couple of genuines that roll by every now and then, but most of them are, view most pro-Trump stuff you see in chat rooms these days like a scroll by for a little device that really fixes all your problems with a cat litter box or hair transplants or, that kind of stuff. Those things that scroll by in your feed, because that's what they are. They're not genuine. They aren't. And even the ones that work, and do it, they're copying and pasting, a vast majority of what they do, and then they do a little line that like, nuh-uh, rap, and then because that's the job. And I get it. It's hard, everybody's trying to make a living. I get it. I'm trying to get to a level 4 hype train right now. We do what we got to do. You gotta survive, as Jim Neglect would say, which is wonderful. And and I'm sorry that you guys can't vote in our elections. Do not, if you can cheer our elections, you can say, I hope it goes this way. You can hope for one of our candidates, but don't tell anybody in our country how to vote, please. Avoid doing that. Not because I think it will have any massive effect or anything like that, but because I don't want them going, people call, hey, you asked a bunch of, no. Look at that. A level 5 hype train's happening. All right. And thanks for all the stars and support over on Facebook. Everybody's like, now he pays attention to us now that there's stars. Yeah. Now that you're not just a troll farm in a way that my mom can watch the show. Yay, the mom's got a ticket for Sexy Liberal. Excellent. SexyLiberal.com. Tomorrow night, the big show. It's going to be crazy. Love from Ireland. It's my island. Mine. Love back to Ireland. I miss going to Ireland. I missed going to Ireland when I went to Scotland for the Edinburgh Festival, and I've always been angry with myself. So the next time I go to Scotland, I'm going to Ireland as well. and I'm going to spend a decent amount of time in Ireland, hanging about, listening to people speak Gaelic. One of my goals, honest to God, is to learn Gaelic. But it's going to take I moved to Ireland for 2 years and all that. Now you are covered in kitten lovin's all over your black shirt. Oh, no. Well, I mean, this is the design of the shirt, but indeed I am. My lap was a nightmare. Chud kept jumping up in my lap. All right, we got to get on with this show. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day. But let me see, 1 second. Let me find that clip. We're going to be everywhere. This is what happens when you're up all night, sleep all day. That's right. It's not a good sign when you can find a clip of your kid with somebody just going, and all you got to do is type in Don Jr. Coke. By the way, my friend Kari Walgren, hold on 1 second. My friend Kari Walgren, who's was in TAC and The Power of Juju with me. She's a voice actress. She's amazing. Follow her on Twitter. She's terrific. She does a lot of cartoons and that kind of stuff. Has a Slaughter cover band, which is amazing. And after all this is done, I proposed to her and to the guys at Nerd Halen that her Slaughter cover band, my band Nerd Halen, and our band Nerd Halen, and Jason Charles Miller's band, we all, because he does voiceovers too. He does like some of your favorite Marvel villains in cartoons are Jason Charles Miller. We all three have cartoon connections. Do a 3-band tour of all the Comic-Cons. Biden is Gonzo. Gonzo is Biden. My brother, my sister, my mother, my sister. All right. Yeah. So this is what everyone was talking about if you didn't see this business.
Out there and peddling this thing as though it's real Russia disinformation.
You've
been
got
corroborated.
phones,
it's real.
emails.
Joe Biden is.
You've got phones, emails. I would like to say for the record, and this is breaking news. I have this iPod Touch, which if with an app on it, you can use it like a phone. On this is I have several contracts of business dealings between Sean Hannity, Don Jr., and a penis enlargement center in the Czech Republic that ironically doesn't take checks. And a bunch of selfies that Sean Hannity took at the Charlottesville thing. It's just him handing out tiki torches. He's got a little sign. I can't show them to you right now, but we'll release a couple of them in a couple of days. I also have Don Jr. I have a picture of Don Jr. on here it's from a security cam. You're just going to have to trust me on this. It's from a security camera. And this is an iPod Touch. I have this. It's a picture of Don Jr. with John Benet Ramsey under his arm, getting into a blacked out school bus. And you can't really see who else is on it, but the driver is Jeffrey Epstein's pool boy. It's all on here. I have this iPod Touch. Now, the mainstream media will not even look at this. Why won't they? I mean, it's all in here. Listen, can you see that? It's a physical thing. And by the way, I bought this from a used iPod Touch store. I didn't really buy it. I shoplifted it. The owner's blind. And I brought this, and I was like, I hope it's been cleaned. But I was like, it's red, so it might be Republican. So I know these were sold to, benefit charity, but you know what I mean? And so I looked on it and I found, it's amazing. And as soon as I can get my Adobe CC license back online, I will release all of it. So he was not deaf, Gonzo. He had no, but lucky for me, he had no sense of smell. Hashtag drive-by. This is everything I told you just now is true. And if you don't believe me, that's because you hate America. Why would? And this is a good look. Most people don't know that Don Jr. and I will get together sometime and just do tone meditations. Sorry. You tell I've had 6 hours sleep in the last 48 hours? Yeah, you can hear it. Listen, when I tap on this, you can hear the evidence like shaking around in there. So, oh, Lab Rat's jack-o'-lantern. That's impressive. Happy Halloween. Oh, then my cat's ears just went nuts at the singing. Don't blame me. That's Don Jr. I can't even hit those notes. Yeah, that is interesting. Good point, Queen Faye. His mouth is just the right size to fit in Rudy Giuliani's office glory hole. But I'm going to need to match them up.
Russian disinformation. There's literally zero evidence that it's Russian disinformation.
Okay, just listen to that sentence. Let that sentence roll around in your dome for a second. So the evidence, their defense of the evidence that there's no verification for is that there's no verification that it's Russian disinformation. You know the plot is going well when this is what your defense sounds like.
Disinformation. There's literally zero evidence of that.
Dude.
Russian disinformation. The director of national intelligence said it. And by the way,
Yeah. Everybody under him is looking at him like he's crazy, but, as a Trump appointee, totally trustworthy.
more importantly, the FBI said it. And I don't say that because I think the FBI has more credibility. I say that because it's pretty clear that the FBI has done whatever they possibly could to hurt Donald Trump. So if...
Yeah, okay. You're 12 days from an election. You're 12 days from an election, and you are the incumbent, and your defense is to attack the FBI. These people are Republicans. What is this? What's the most reliable place to check polls? How you feel after you leave the voting booth and you voted. 538. There's a decent accumulation.
They're even coming out and saying this, meaning the upper levels of the FBI. The door kickers love us, not so much.
Listen, the door kickers love us, not so much that, okay, FBI agents don't kick doors. The U.S. Marshals do that for them. Door kickers. What a macho dickhead. Like, and what, it's that, he keeps reminding me of that line in Tootsie. You macho shithead. Shame on you, Miss Marshall. Shame on any woman who let you do that.
The bureaucrats at the top. But if even they're coming...
Yeah, the top, the upper levels of the FBI, who have caught every major serial killer that's, that have shut down organized crime organizations, they're just bureaucrats, bruh. Someone told you that Don Jr. is being groomed to be the... Yeah, no. Gonzo, no. No one is grooming Don Jr. to be the next president of the United States. How many are still undecided? Well, there's a decent number. I mean, there's a bunch of lazy voters, too.
I'm saying, yeah, there's absolutely no evidence. And that doesn't prevent Adam Schiff and MSDNC from being...
MSDNC.
...out there and peddling this thing as though it's real Russia disinformation. It's
peddling this thing as if it's real Russian disinformation. News. Is there any way to not catch this asshole with his mouth and butt pucker?
Phones, it's real.
emails.
Joe Biden is corrupted and compromised, and America has to know it, Sean.
Look at the look at the end here. Look at the end frame here. This is what you call the four whites when his eyes are going completely wide. Moon. That's exactly what he's doing. There is a. Should we just try to grab frames of see what we get? Oh, there you go. Okay. That's a good one. That looks great. I'm on Sean Hannity's show. If Trump loses, does he run in 2024? No. No. No way. I'm just saying. All right, here we go. Let's go back to this thing. And Jesus. Let's see. All right, so let me try and share these folks in this little. I'm not gonna watch the right side version of these things, like of the speech today. Yeah, here you go. I'm gonna go to right side. Or I mean to right side to fact base. At least they like don't have all this stuff. Yeah, Hannity is freaking out. He's trying to help them, but it's not working. There's all these, everybody at Fox News is trying to get Trump off the Hunter Biden bandwagon of nonsense. And yes, I am absolutely sure Trump is not running again. I'm absolutely certain. Yes, he will be bedridden in a home. He's like, for all the talk about, Biden being ill and old and whatever, please. Well, let's make a judgment. I have not seen this speech, neither have you. And we will just see how this goes.
Thank you.
Some gaps in that group behind him. Usually that's pretty dense. They take a bunch of people, give them permission, put them back there. Is that Yeah, he's in Florida because he wants to go hide at Mar-a-Lago and suck his thumb. Nice.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
There's a security woman there telling everybody to sit down.
Thank
you. Is she with the RNC or is she trying? Oh, she's trying to get everybody in behind him.
you.
Yeah, there she goes. See, they're filling in the gaps because they can see it behind them. So she's
And
getting
hello,
everybody in position.
Florida. Hello, Florida.
There's they put it in front of the stairs, so it's even worse. They're like, damn it.
It's great to be with you and back at the villages. I like
The villages. Yeah, well, a place for Don. Turn the mic up. Now he's a rapper.
It's great to be with you. It's something I've wanted to do. I was here 4 years ago in some little ballroom that held about 400 people. And I said,
And I haven't been back since.
to be with the villages, everybody. I said, get a field or do something.
Get a field and do something. Because leadership. That's right, America. You want a president that in the middle of a pandemic that's hitting old people more than anyone else in the world to go down to the villages, throw a maskless rally as close as possible and his entire plan is get a field and do something. What the shit?
Just go out and get a field.
Just get a field. Because he plans shit. Okay, Now do you understand why he cocked up the whole COVID response and why he's always behind the 8 ball whenever anything? He just released money to Puerto Rico last month, right before the election, because everybody was like, "Oh shit, we didn't pay for all that shit we were supposed to do." He's sending emergency relief for a hurricane from 2.5 years ago.
Go out and get a
Yeah, I'm Joan London. A place for Don.
field, and that's what they did. They got a lot of people here.
That's what they did. Just got a field and filled it with assholes who think they're immune.
And I see you driving around in those beautiful golf carts, the most beautiful carts. I want to get one.
I want to call it. He's drunk.
I'm going to get a golf cart like that, but you have the best, and you're always fighting.
Yeah. You're a billionaire, and yet your golf cart sucks. What's up with that?
For me, and I'm always.
I'm not going to cover them all. It's absurd. By the way, 3 speeches a day. I hope nothing important happens.
For you, and I appreciate it. That's why we're here. And we had an exciting night last night with Sleepy Joe.
That's kind of a contradiction in terms, isn't it?
But I'm always here to protect you
drunk.
and love, cherish, defend our nation's seniors. And not all of you are seniors. I see a lot of people that are very young in this group.
Yeah, you mean the super spreaders who are coming down there to give all the old people COVID? Yeah, great.
And I see a lot of people that are young at heart, right? We're young at heart, all of us.
Seriously, what is it? Is it bourbon? We have to figure it out. I'm going with bourbon and Diet Coke because it's sweet. That's what I mean, honestly. Either Philly, he supposedly doesn't drink, but that's bullshit. And Noel Castler says he's been he's drunk on the down low forever. There's pictures all over the internet of him drinking. And I'm sure he stays away from it. He's like mostly a social drinker, meaning that, in certain situations he'll sip champagne or he'll sip wine at a thing. But he's definitely, and I know people are always like, it's painkillers. I think it's painkillers and alcohol. Red Bull and vodka? Really? I don't know. I think that's too that's too hardcore for him. Rum and Coke. Yeah, rum and Diet Coke. Yeah. Brown cows, sugar and dairy, right?
And the timeless values that make this nation the greatest nation anywhere in the world.
And I believe it because I just read it off a teleprompter that I can't take my eyes off of or I will wander into nonsense. I mean, this is like watching Reagan near the end.
11 days from now, we're going to win the state of Florida. We're going to win
4 more years in the White House. Right, yeah. Okay, that's in there. That's check.
I think Joe Biden proved last night that he's not.
That he's competent and aware of policy and is very easily distracted by somebody just rambling on about bullshit next to him.
Not capable of being president of the United States.
What? He showed last night he's not capable. I mean, I can understand his corruption angle. He's too corrupt to be the president. That's the storyline they've been telling. So stick to your friggin' storyline. You can't even stay on message? He's not even capable. I'm okay. Oh, baby.
Come on, Gabe. The country saw first.
Come on, Gabe. Is Gabe Kaplan there? Welcome back. Come on, Gabe. You mean the Coral Gables?
Come on, Gabe. The country saw capable of being president of the United States. Come on, Gabe.
Who's Gabe? I mean, he's saying it's Coral Gables or Florida, I think, is where he is. Who the shit is Gabe? He can't be president. Come on, Gabe. Don't bullshit me. Come on, Gabe. What? What? What is that? Yeah, Mr. Carter. Ooh, I know. Ooh. I honestly.
He's not capable of being President of the United States. Come on, Gabe.
Come on, Gabe.
Country saw firsthand that this election.
Yeah, what about Vinny Barbarino? What about Horseshack? What? Oh, I know. That's where his brain is. Gabe Kaplan. Welcome Back, Kotter. Character named Epstein. He was probably hanging out with Epstein's mother. Okay, all right, now I know. Right.
Is a choice between a Trump recovery.
Gabraham Lincoln. I'm the greatest president since Gabraham Lincoln.
And I'll call it because that's what's happening. It's a Trump super recovery and a Biden depression because you will have a depression. Who has 401ks in this group? Anybody? If he got in, wave bye-bye to your 401k because it's
wave bye-bye. Oh, my God. Hammered.
Going down the tubes.
This is the argument. Break it down. Why? Why? Because Wall Street is actually betting on Biden winning and a recovery under him. They're betting on stability. They're betting on stable growth because the entire time that Trump's been in, all the growth in the stock market has come from 6 companies. 6 companies. 6 companies. Ask Hertz how they're doing under Trump.
It's a choice between optimism, patriotic vision for American success, or Joe Biden's dark, dismal, gloomy. Did you hear what he said last night about darkness, always darkness?
He's quoting them. He's quoting the doctors who are saying we're going into a dark winter because the death rate could be much higher and the hospitals are already being overwhelmed. Oh, it's darkness. Seriously, this is some drunk ass bullshit.
American success. Or
First of all, he screws up the opening of this line. I know I'm going to go back over this, but holy shit.
Optimism, patriotic vision for American success.
Okay. Our optimistic, patriotic vision for America and Joe Biden's dark and dismal, whatever the shit he's going to say. That's what it says in the teleprompter.
Wave bye-bye to your 401k because it's going down the tubes.
Bye-bye. Wave bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to the mayor. Bye-bye. Yeah, here. Yeah, that's money. Chew it up real nice. Bye-bye. Everybody say bye-bye to the mayor. Bye-bye. That's lines from the movie Vibes. You don't need to know that. All right. Watch this. Okay. Our optimistic vision.
It's a choice between optimism, patriotic vision for American success.
Our optimistic, patriotic vision. Please, like anybody. That's what it says in the teleprompter.
Or Joe Biden's dark, dismal, gloomy. Did you hear what he said?
He just bails out on it. Dark, dismal, gloomy, something or other. I don't know, some bullshit. It's there.
Last night about darkness, always darkness.
Yeah, that's Biden's thing. Always darkness. I mean, he's so goth. You know what I mean? That's what it was amazing that how many of the Bernie people didn't support Joe, considering how goth he is. I mean, he basically looks like Danzig most of the time.
But it's a gloomy vision. We're about the American dream, all about the American dream, greatest country in the world.
Yeah, again, I love America. It's my country, our country. I think it's the greatest country in the world, and I think it's got the greatest potential for the future as a country. You don't get to own that. These are just platitudes. You might as well just be saying, Coke is life.
Joe Biden is totally controlled by the radical socialist left. This country will never be a socialist country. Never. One of the most
No, it actually won't.
Stunning moments last.
But nobody's even asking for that. In fact, please mention January 2018, the market was 26.5. It's up 1,800 points in 3 years. Yeah.
Night was when Joe Biden admitted that he wants to abolish the oil industry. That was.
He wants to abolish the oil industry. We all want to transition away from fossil fuels, you dickhead. Who in their right mind thinks in 50 to 100 years we will still be burning liquid dinosaurs to fuel our cars? So the question is not if, but when. What kind of a jackass thinks we're not going to be transitioning away from that stuff?
Did you see him this morning? This morning, I didn't really mean that. I didn't mean that. That was the
Yeah, that's not what he said.
last question. They talked about that. I said, whoa, this is the big point of the evening. Remember? I said, well,
Whoa.
do you want to get rid of oil?
Did you say whoa?
And I said, whoa, this is the big point of the evening. Remember? I said, well, do you want to get rid of oil and gas? Is that, yeah, well, we want to phase it out. I said, thank you, Texas. Are you watching?
Yeah, they want to phase it out by 2050.
Pennsylvania.
I'm kidding, Kylo.
Oklahoma.
I know that oil is not made from dinosaurs. It's squeezed from Don Jr.'s beard, which makes it a reunion. What?
Pennsylvania. Oklahoma. Ohio, are you watching?
No, they're not.
And now they're going around Kamala. Kamala is going around saying, no, 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 we want to keep it. This woman is a super radical left. She's against fracking. If they get in, they'll end your energy independence. We have energy independence right now. They will end it very quickly. No, they're going around trying to make, you know, that was one of the, well, we're going to have to see how it works out. But that could be one of the worst mistakes made in presidential debate history. We're going to see. We hope it is.
All right, I didn't want to break into that one because holy shit. That's just ridiculous. It's like he's like, that was the one. I'm done. Election's mine. Got it. Nailed it. The oil industry is also phasing out oil and gas and investing in green energy. Exactly. Have you seen any BP ads lately?
This is perhaps the most shocking admission ever made during a debate where he goes,
I can't believe that that's true. I mean, let's see. It's probably. No, all right. I can't. It's not family friendly. Okay, so I was about to go. I'm going to look up some stuff that's in, like bad debate moments.
and he says no fracking, but he's been saying it. No fracking. He got the nomination. All of his.
No, on federal lands, asshole. Nobody cares. And you're in Florida. Nobody gives a shit about fracking in Florida. As a matter of fact, you had to kiss their ass and remove all the offshore drilling that you allowed to happen because you were playing footsie with the oil companies. And then you had to rescind it because North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and Texas went, what the shit are you doing?
Sudden, he's fracking.
This one's in the Villages in Florida.
No fossil fuels and no gas-powered cars. Ultimately, let's not have cars. Let's get rid of airplanes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the Amishing of America. But you know how people say that Bill Clinton was our first black president? That's true in the same way that Joe Biden is our first Amish president.
How about that senator from Hawaii, where she went along with the Green New Deal?
Boo. Mazie Hirono. Florida hates. Boo, Hawaii.
And she said, yes, I'm in favor. He said, yeah, but you're not allowed to use airplanes under the Green New Deal, and she's in Hawaii. She said, well, I don't know what to tell you. And then she says, maybe we can build a bridge to Hawaii instead. She's a beauty, isn't she? She's great. Biden.
I'm guessing the conversation was slightly different.
Plan would mean America's seniors have no air conditioning during the summer, no heat during the winter, and no electricity during peak hours. It's true. You know, he wants wind. He wants wind. You know, when the wind doesn't blow. Let's watch the president tonight, darling, on television. I'm sorry. We can't. The wind's not blowing tonight.
And finally, someone has the guts to be the anti-wind president. And the irony that it's this dude.
Last night, Biden pledged to institute the most horrible and dangerous immigration policy ever in this country.
Uh-oh, the most horrible immigration policy in this country. Let's hear it. It's going to be rough. This is terrible. Are you sitting down? Here it comes. The most horrible immigration policy ever. Right.
Catch and release. He wants to bring it back. Took me 2 years to get rid of it. That's where you catch a criminal. Could be a rapist. Could be a murderer.
Could be. Could be. So if I'm to understand you correctly, that that every police officer is now responsible, every traffic cop, that if they pull over someone and they give them a ticket for expired tags or a busted window or a tail light that's out and fix it or a smog check or they were, driving erratically and they let them go, that cop is now on the hook because that person could have been a murderer on their way to bury a body or something. What kind of paranoid horseshit is this?
A real criminal, and you just release the criminal and say, please come back in 4 years. Did you see what he said last night? He said, no, and then they come back for court. I said, no, they don't come back, Joe. 1%.
Which isn't true either. He says 1% like it's true. It isn't.
They come back. No, I said, Joe, you don't know anything about it. They don't come back. This is a very bad policy, Joe. They don't come back. They need Perry Mason, but they don't get Perry Mason. They just don't come back.
Again, the Perry Mason reference, which is alive again because of a series, being he's aging himself, and it works in the Villages, actually. But wasn't Perry Mason a defense attorney?
Criminals and rapists and even murderers are set free, and they're set free into our country. It's ended now. It was very hard to get ended. What I had to do to end it, I will not tell you.
What'd you do? What'd you have to do? Throw a baby in a blender and do some sort of witchcraft?
I will not tell the people of the Villages.
I will not tell the people of the Villages. All right. Oh, Dexter. Yeah, he's shooting for Dexter.
Tell the people of the Villages. By the way, you love it here, right? Yeah? I don't know. It's an incredible popular place. I see it so much. It's incredible. The love, the spirit.
Here's the other thing. Like, we're all looking at this and going, he's clearly hammered on painkillers or fading or something. But the people in the Villages, this is a very normal interaction for them.
So do you love the people that developed it? I think so, right? Right? It's nice to have somebody, but that wasn't the same love as you had for the... No, somebody did a good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at this guy. Look.
Look at this. Hey, man.
Look, it's Uncle Sam. Come here.
Hey, thanks. I like to think of myself that way.
Uncle Sam. Look at this guy. Look.
Look, there's a guy. Hey.
This is a hell of a day, Mr. Congressman. How are you? When are you getting married? You getting married soon, please? Don't lose her, Congressman. You'll be very depressed.
He said this whoever's touring around with him has a hot wife, and he keeps commenting on it. They've been to a couple of these things with him, and he's like, yeah, that one, I don't know, good, that one.
Biden
He did it at
says
one of the other
America
rallies.
is nothing more than an idea, right? He also said, didn't he say Antifa's just an idea too?
You can say America's nothing more than an idea. Not just a country, it's also an idea. Do you understand what the Constitution is an idea enforced by laws?
Are we saying? Only at the villages could you say that.
Oh, this bullshit. Like, somebody yells like, set him on fire, shoot him in the forehead, sodomize and dump him in an alligator swamp. And Trump's response is, hey, you know, only wherever I am can somebody say something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he started that with I think the panhandle, if you remember.
No, he said America was an idea, but come to think of it, he said Antifa's an idea too, right? Well, America's not an idea, it's a great country.
Okay. Got that. Okay, cool. Check. Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's even doing the okay follow up to sentences. Drunk. I'm going
America
drunk.
is our home. It's a nation, and it's a nation that has borders. You know, when you have borders, you have a nation. You take away the borders. They want to take away the borders. They want to take down the wall. The wall is now.
Okay, he had to find his way out of there somehow.
400 plus miles long. How about that?
Yeah, Florida's really worried about that. What are you doing about the boats?
And it goes very high and very low. It goes down deep for two reasons. To hold it up is one. That's a good reason, but also for the tunnels. And Arizona is very happy. We just got back.
Hold on.
But also for the tunnels. And Arizona is very happy. We just got back, Pam, some numbers from Arizona. Very good. Numbers from Florida. I don't want to talk about it. Look at all the fake news back there. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to
Why not?
talk about it.
What do you not want to talk about? I see you, Jamie.
Look at all those people.
I'm doing a job.
There's the great John Roberts, who's generally speaking very good, John, generally, but he has bad moments. Hello, John. You having a good time? He's a good guy. John is good. John is good. They're not all fake. Just about 85% of them. But isn't it amazing? You know, someday I'd like to make a speech without any press.
Yeah, I would like you to make a speech without any press, too. What do you mean? Like, have a secret gathering? This is, I mean, this is some goofy shit.
Without any press. One.
Just want to give a little purpose without any press. Yeah, stop being president. Tell you what, a year from now, after you've left, call a press conference at the National Press Club. No one will show. Turn up the volume on Trump. Okay, yeah. Let's see if I can.
Mistake and they try and take you out. And I do this 4 times a day. It's crazy. So we're going on a tour for the next.
One little mistake and they take you out. Yeah, that's what's happening. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, I see. This is.
Days. Can you believe it? We're down to 10, 11 days. And we'll be doing 2, 3 of these, and then 4 of these, and then we're going to end up 5 or 6 of these a day. Do you believe that? Is this any kind of a life?
He had a moment where he could have gone, you think Sleepy Joe could do that? And he probably he'll find his way out. But is this any kind of a life? Talking to you assholes?
Is this a life? Who can do that? Who can do that? Do you think Sleepy Joe can do that? I don't think so.
Sleepy Joe doesn't have to. Yeah, apparently he can stay in his bunker and beat you by 10 points.
I don't think so. I don't think he can do it. I knew there was a reason I wanted to be at the villages. It was a hard thing. This was very hard. They said they have no field that's large enough. I said, do they have a polo field someplace? Let's get a polo.
Yeah, because that's what you say when you're a man of the people. Do they have a polo field someplace?
Look at that equipment.
Do they have a polo field?
Look at those helicopters. How good are they? Everything's good. 2.5 trillion. We should have good
Everything's good.
helicopters. But if Biden wins, your borders will be gone and your country will be
No.
gone, frankly. Look, this is not
Patreons assemble.
a man that's capable. When I meet with these heads of state, the one thing I can tell you, they're sharp. They're sharp. They're not
Really? Is that why you look? Did they poke you with something? Did it hurt? They're that sharp? Because when you come out of the meetings with them, they're smiling a lot, and you look like they just gave you a prostate exam.
off. They're sharp. This is not a man that can handle the job. You know, he leaves his house this morning, gets up, and I'm going to talk about it. All he talks about is COVID, 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 because they want to scare people. And we've done so well with it. Now it's 99.8%. I mean, you look at what's going on. And we're rounding the turn. We're rounding the corner. We're rounding the corner beautifully.
This is like a drunk describing his driving skills as you careen off a bridge.
Joe Biden was very disrespectful last night to President Barack Hussein Obama. You saw that. Barack Hussein Obama. Remember,
Yes,
Rush
Amy, thank
Limbaugh
you.
would always do that. He'd do Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah, that's funny. Do you know the other thing that Rush Limbaugh did with Obama's name?
And Russia's doing okay. You know, Russia's great.
No, he's not. He's not doing okay. Your friend is dying of cancer. He's not doing okay.
Do we love Rush?
No, can't stand the man. I don't want him to die, though. I don't wish him ill. I wish everybody with cancer, recovery and a long life. He's not in that position. He's terminal. Supposedly, you assholes are friends.
He's got such guts. He's going through a lot, but he's got courage like few people have. He always has had courage. At last
Weird jumping lady behind him is
night's
very odd.
debate, though, he was very
Cold.
really disrespectful. What he said that he, Joe, was vice president, not president, blaming Obama when trying to make excuses for their failed immigration policies, right? You saw that? I wasn't the president, it was him.
No, he said that because you were like, why didn't you do those things? Because he was the vice president. He's talking about the things he would do as president. You think the presidency has more power than the vice presidency or being a senator or being, if you don't, then why don't you just run for Congress?
Because we talked about cages, right? I said, Joe, you built the cages. Remember, they tried to say, cages for children.
Yeah. Glock made the guns. I just left it in the dresser for the 6-year-old to find. It's really.
And they said Trump built cages, and then they found out it was a little problem. There was a picture in the New York Times, the failing New York Times. If you take a look at what its unfunded liability is, check it out sometime. It's definitely failing. It's only a question of when. But you take a look at the failing New York Times, and they had a picture of a cage, and they
Hal, what does Hussein mean? It means handsome.
thought that I built it. And it said cage. And then somebody called me. They said, sir, that was built. One of the people that helped build it. That was built in 2014. I said, 2014,
Yeah, weird. Just like the VA Choice Act.
I didn't happen to be president. It was built under Obama/Sleepy Joe Biden. And so did you notice when I kept saying, why did you build the cages, Joe? Why did you? And he just kept talking.
Yeah, because you're a crazy, rambling asshole.
Didn't want any part of it. But they started.
Yeah, I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't want you spitting on their shoulder in a bar, griping about your hemorrhoids. They just don't even take medical issues seriously, these people.
If you want job safety and borders, you have to vote for the party of Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. Vote Republican. And I'm voting early tomorrow in Florida. Do you believe it? I'm coming to vote. I came down here to vote. I actually came down here to see the villages, and tomorrow morning I'm voting here, as opposed to sending it in. You know, those mail-ins.
Yeah, because you don't trust the mail. Because you're the only president in the history of the country who's shit on the mail service.
I like being able to vote. I'm old-fashioned, I guess. I like to get online and...
Yeah, you're going to stand in line. That's what he's doing. He's coming down here to be a man of the people. This asshole is going to... Yeah, the party of Abe Lincoln under new ownership. Yeah, it's kind of like the New York Post, which is, you know, was the oldest newspaper in the country or something like that, and it's now owned by Rupert Murdoch.
To stand there for 2 hours. Maybe they'll move you up a little bit. But I like to vote. So I'm coming. I'm going to be voting here tomorrow. And I urge every one of you to go and vote. And I don't think I have to urge too many. How many people here have already voted? That's incredible. Thank you. Look at you. How many people
Look at you.
here have voted for President Trump? How many people here have voted for Sleepy Joe Biden, please? I don't see any hands. You know, I tend to believe him, too. Sleepy Joe, no, he's not the guy. For 47 years, Joe
So that was a poll? Are these the polls he says he believes?
Biden sent American jobs to China and other nations while the Biden...
I hear somebody on Facebook is saying, I thought I heard he already voted by mail. Did I not hear that? No, he talks about he votes by mail and it's fine. And, you know, if you're absentee, he's been talking about that for a while, but he's actually going to vote in person because everybody on his team was like, why are you mailing it in? What am I drinking? I'm drinking iced coffee.
Vacuum up. Look, did you see what's going on with this?
And I don't know why the vacuum cleaner thing, he thinks this works. Let's go.
I mean, he goes into a country. The guy leaves with like volumes of money. Vacuum up. Millions of dollars all over the globe. Last night, Joe lied straight to the American people. He claimed that he had never taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life, ever. No, I mean, he goes and think of it. His son, without a job.
No. This is the part where, and I don't know, this one, apparently we're watching a robbery up in the right-hand corner. This woman looks like she's like stealing someone's wallet. This is the part where you go, he's never taken, he lied directly to the American people. Again, this is speech 101. He lied to the American people. He said he's never taken a penny from any foreign source ever. Well, here's the thing that you don't know. And you zing him with something in the teleprompter that describes how he got an actual dollar from, and framed from the president of Thailand or something.
His son, without a job, knows nothing about energy. Have you, these young people in front, do you know anything about energy? No. She said no. She knows more than Hunter. Remember, where's Hunter? Where is, by the way, where the hell is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Remember the...
What responsibility does the child of somebody running for president have to do to make public appearances? This is always weird to me, too. I mean, subpoena him. You got Republicans who will do this bullshit. The Senate will do it. Let them embarrass themselves. They've already released a report that they stand by their report that there was no shenanigans going on. Call them. You got 2 weeks. You know, you're not doing a relief bill. Right after Amy Coney Barrett gets her bullshit vote, subpoena Hunter Biden and have him come down.
T-shirt.
And they'll go, yeah, we're glad to do it. We'll be there the 7th of November.
I said one time, where's Hunter? The next day they had a T-shirt, where's Hunter?
But what I say, doesn't encourage the Proud Boys.
There he is. Hunter, you gained weight. But
I just called his supporter fat.
You look even better. You still look better. Anyway. No, but think of it.
Yeah, stepped in it or whatever. Why don't you just ask if he's pregnant?
Lined up with this Ukrainian energy company, not the highest reputation. $183,000 a month to be on the board, right? gets a $3 million upfront payment. Then that's only First Nation. Then he goes, he has no knowledge of energy whatsoever.
That's First Nation. So they seen the contract and they know it's favored nations, so everybody on the board got the same money?
Anybody in this audience knows more. They then go to China. Let's go to China. He gets $1.5 billion to manage.
Yes, the cheer bits are indeed animated.
Million.
No, we like the come on Gabe thing, we did not figure out who Gabe is. I think Gabe is the Gables, Coral Gables.
Of dollars a year in fees. He then goes to Russia. He gets $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. $3.5 million. And Obama was in charge of all of that stuff. Then they stole the Crimea. They stole the submarine port, Russia. And Russia takes it. And he's in charge of Russia, but he got $3.5 million.
It's a great story, by the way. You guys catching all this? Anybody starting a schematic of what the shit he's talking about right here? We've gone from 3.5. We're somehow tying a $3.5 million payment to Rosemont Seneca Thornton, a company that Hunter Biden wasn't a part of. He's part of Rosemont Seneca. Rosemont Seneca has an offshoot called Rosemont Seneca Thornton. That Hunter is not a founding member of, not a principal partner in. They got consultation fees from the mayor's wife. Apparently, according to Rudy Giuliani, as we all watched the other night, that mayor is a totally corrupt asshole, and she was right to side with Putin to get rid of the guy, which is, I mean, the loyalties and decency of the people involved there is just off the charts and ridiculous. But Giuliani couldn't decide whether he was defending her or not, but they apparently took her money as consulting fees, and now she's the richest woman in Russia. So they're good at their job, is what you're hearing.
So what's going
The villages are a little south of Tampa and Latin Coral Gables, which is Miami. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what he's saying, though. I think he's saying, you know, come on, Gabe, like the Gables. Like they call it the Gables, and somebody told him that.
on with that? So he was in charge of Ukraine, China, Russia. That was sort of a responsibility of the vice president. And he got money from all of them. And he got it from his son, and his son made no money for years. And all of a sudden, he's making all this money.
Have you? Okay. By the way, we're now looking at a man who has never seen a day of profit since he took over his father's company.
They're corrupt politicians. Okay, you say what you want, and then you see the notes, and you see the gentleman that got up yesterday, and you see what he had to say. He's a legitimate person, but
he's a real person. Have we checked? Do we have DNA?
See the notes, and you see that Joe gets 10% of everything, right? And Pammy got 50% on something. And
no, the Fox News host looked at the 10% part that they're talking about in these notes, apparently. Which, I mean, they're sketch as hell anyway, so I don't know how much you can read into them. But she found that when they referred to 10% to the chairman repeatedly in this chain of emails that this other dude released, they refer to the chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, because in China they have a thing called guanxi, which is a form of sort of permanent graft where you have to give to the communist officials.
then the guy has a deal in China where he wants to get $10 million.
By the way, the two women back there who are kind of dancing and jumping up and down and making a lot of noise, and they know they're on camera, and they seem to be really like, they're chewing the scenery. The dude right in front of them, though, is fucking magic. That shirt is it's a violation of the U.S. flag codes, but it's also it's an odd fit.
A year, $10 million a year for introductory purposes. In other words, he's going to introduce people. You know who's going to introduce his father? That's who he's going to introduce. No, it's a bad deal.
No, it's a bad people. This is bullshit.
It's corrupt as hell. I don't care what you say. It's corrupt as hell.
Yeah, I know you don't care what I say. You haven't heard what I said. I mean, your kids have, and John and Eric have watched. I know they have. Hi. You would not believe the, hey, by the way, we watch your stream notes that I'm getting in my DMs. I will just say it's surprisingly A-list, considering that this is the little show that could.
Okay? And you know, they like to also, they say, oh, well, what about you with the kids? I don't do deals. I don't do deals. I used to do more deals. I was the king of deals. And I don't
Were you the king of deals? Now you're the king of ventilators.
do deals. I tell my kids, you can't, it's conflicts, just don't do it. So it's possibly allowed. It probably is.
I don't know why this woman is taking a selfie or something and showing her bruise on her arm. Are these the hookers? Were these the hookers they got him while when he comes down to Florida and that's a thumb bruise or something? Is that what we're going with? It's really odd.
Allowed. But I said, we don't need it. Just
If
don't
it's a
do it.
tattoo,
My kids, these kids have done such a good job.
oh yeah, they're doing great.
They have done such a good job. And
Yeah, Eric especially. I love his interviews. I wish he would do more.
they don't do deals. The Bidens got
Wait, they don't do deals? I thought they were running the goddamn company.
rich while America got robbed. And they don't do deals.
Why don't they do deals?
My kids, these kids have done such a good job. They have done such a good job. And they don't do deals. The Bidens got rich while America got robbed. And how did Biden get so wealthy, spending a half a century in public office? You
can look at his taxes and find out. It's all there. You know exactly where the money comes from. You know exactly where the money is going. It's in his taxes. It's a solid amount of money. And if you invest it well, and if you earn it, you can live quite well. Somebody did an analogy. Some of you, we mentioned this once before, but somebody did an analogy, an analysis of Trump's lifestyle, what he does, what he eats, what his office costs, what his condo costs itself, how much his furniture costs, where his flight, his plane, his maintenance, all that kind of stuff, the vehicles that he and his company own. And they said that the Trump lifestyle, all of it, if you're a $25 million, if you're rich and you make $25 million a year, that's your lifestyle. That's what you live at. To be a billionaire, allegedly, he would have to be in the hundreds of millions yearly because you pay taxes on that. Because you get that $25 million, you're paying 10. He doesn't, but normally. So you're keeping 15 and you're spending it on maintaining your plane and pilots and your in real estate and your property taxes and shit like that. Gabe might be Gabe Perez, Trump's teleprompter guy. That's hilarious. That was the case.
He's been in public office for 47 years, almost 50 years. He used his office for personal profit at your expense, at my expense, at all of our expenses.
No. You can make a case that it's at everyone else's expense, but if you're saying that he's using taxpayer dollars, you haven't given any.
In 2016, Florida voted to fire this depraved political establishment.
They weren't running.
And you elect.
He says this again, and this is the weird part. They might have voted for a Republican on a lark because they didn't like Hillary Clinton, but they didn't vote to fire Biden. Obama and Biden weren't running again. They got 2 terms.
An outsider as president who is finally putting
finally an insider.
America first and putting the villages first. Putting the villages first.
Where am I? Hey.
We're putting the villages first.
Why? What are you talking about?
And if I don't
First over what?
sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. And if I don't always
Yeah, you are.
play by the rules of the Washington establishment, the deep state, the rhinos, the rhinos are almost worse than our
They
enemies.
really are. With friends like these, who needs Dr. Fauci?
The rhinos, we love those rhinos. Republican in name only. You know what that is, right?
River.
Republican Republican. In name only. We got a lot of them.
Thanks for explaining it. Tell us what concast means now.
But they're slowly disappearing. It's amazing. They disappear.
They're slowly disappearing? What do you mean, the Lincoln Project? Give me a break.
To the woods. But if
they're slowly disappearing into the woods. What is this gibberish?
Disappearing. It's amazing. They disappear into the woods. That's right. Republican. In name only. We got a lot of them. But they're slowly disappearing. It's amazing. They disappear into the woods. But if
okay, here's what I keep trying to figure out when he says shit like this where it comes from. My theory on this one is someone, probably Don Jr., showed him a Homer Simpson GIF meme with like Lincoln Project as he goes back into the weeds or something, you know, into the bushes. That thing. That's my thought. I'm always curious, guys, when he comes up with some sort of analogy. It's not just, I mean, there's tons of chemical misfires going on in his head, but you can see the seed of where he got the idea because he's a sieve, you know.
I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment. It's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought for you harder than any president has ever fought.
Yeah, harder than, I mean, you know, Truman, Roosevelt, Eisenhower. Screw those cream puffs.
Anybody.
Thanks, Steph.
And with your vote, we'll continue to cut taxes. I got you the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
Fear that these women will show their boobs. We're not far from that.
Cut regulations, lower drug prices. Your drugs will be going down 60, 70, 80% because I'm instituting what's called a favored nations clause.
Yeah, explain it.
You see all the commercials the drug companies are running against me? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
You might have just watched M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, right?
This is why I see politicians. This is one of the many reasons why. The other reason is that the biggest lobbyist, the biggest donator by far are the drug companies. Very powerful, a lot of money. They are taking commercials of me. I don't care. I'm doing the right thing. I institute.
Has anybody seen a Trump ad? I have yet to see one. And maybe they're just on Fox News, and that's why I don't see them. Because I do watch Fox News hosts for content and to keep aware, but I don't watch the commercials.
A favored nations clause where the
Thanks for hosting.
United States, right now, we pay the highest price of any country in the world by far. It's not even close. It's not even close. You could have a pill that sells for 10 cents, identical, and in the United States could sell for $3. That's how bad it is. It's terrible. So
yeah, that's because those countries either make the drug themselves because they become generic, or that's where the factory and the company is from. So they, you know, where they actually they're the American pharmaceutical company built a lab and a factory in Pakistan or India or wherever else.
Instituted what we call a favored nations clause. So we will be paying the lowest price matched, the lowest price anywhere in the world. And I'm getting hit hard on that one, but that's okay, Pam. Is that okay? I'll have to withstand. The commercials are unbelievable.
Yeah, they're not paying for those.
You know, they're unbelievable. But that's okay. People get it.
No, they are completely believable if they were actually true. By the way, remember when he came to Obama's defense during the Affordable Care Act struggle because the pharmaceutical and medical companies came after him? Yeah.
We want to support our police, protect our Second Amendment. They want to take your Second Amendment away. Defend.
No, they don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. I just don't think you need a 60-round magazine to deal with home intruder. If you do, you're probably the home intruder.
Our borders, maintain energy independence. and ensure more products are proudly stamped with the phrase, that gorgeous phrase, made in the USA. We'll deliver record prosperity, epic
Yeah, why not? We totally were gonna.
and a safe vaccine. It's quickly coming that will help end. By the way, it's ending anyway. It's going to end. You're going to have surges. Look at Europe. They have a surge, and it goes down. Look at Florida. You have a great governor, by the way. You have a great governor.
A great surge.
And you have an even better first lady, but I won't say that. Now you have a great governor. In fact, the governor is going to go to Canada. I gave him
Yeah, Second Amendment, by the way, is one word.
the right.
At this point.
He's going
Second
to
Amendment.
Canada where they pay 50% less for the same drug. And
Why do they do that? Is it because they have government health care?
is going to buy for the state of Florida until this favored nations kicks in, where you go down 70, 80, 90%. And last year was the first year in 52 years that drug prices in this country went down. Not by much,
Nah, not by much, because 3 drugs became generic.
but they went down. They didn't go up. 1%. Not much, not proud, 1%. But with favored nations,
That's because 3 drugs became generic.
you'll go down 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80% in drug prices. But I gave your governor the right to go to Canada and buy drugs in Canada, the same exact drug from the same factory, same company,
Pakistan,
50% and even more discount. And
which, and by the way, not using Canada's quality control methods. So let's understand this real quick. So Canada buys drugs from India and Pakistan in bulk. They make an arrangement so that they buy these largely generics, as does the UK and a lot of other countries that have a version of single payer or government health care. Not everything that comes over matches quality standards made at these factories. And so Canada rejects a portion of those. Do you think those will be thrown out now? No. They will be sold to Floridians because there is no federal standard base to buy it. If it's got the name of the drug on it, it qualifies. There is no federal standard to watch it. There's no the idea is that it got across the border in Canada according to this, so it must be good.
you're going to start seeing it fast, and then ultimately the favored nations will kick in. So I better be president when all this stuff happens. Can you imagine? It's all done. Can you
Why didn't
imagine?
you do it 2 years ago? If it was all done and that easy.
Sleepy Joe said, I've done a very good job on drug pricing. What did you do, Joe? I don't know.
Oh, like you with Obama's economy, you mean?
I don't know what I did.
This is the point where I got to say, on a personal level, say hi to your mom, Amy. Yeah, Canada rejects a bunch of drugs and bad lots of drugs and that kind of stuff. And thanks, Virgil. And we're going to end up, they're going to be sold to the villages. I mean, obviously, Rush Limbaugh could buy a certain amount.
So we're going to, thank you very
No
much.
problem,
We're going to
Mr.
quickly
Rowley.
end this pandemic, this horrible
No, you're not.
plague that came in from China. They should have stopped it. And we're not going to forget what they did. We're not forgetting at all.
I'm not going to forget. I'm going to sell them the largest order of corn and soybeans and beef in our nation's history at a time when we have food shortages. Do you understand do you understand what's happening? Instead of lowering food prices for Americans who are largely out of work and helping to push against inflation by supporting farmers through government subsidies when necessary, but lowering the price of those things and getting those goods to market quicker, he just sold them to China. Last month.
I'd signed a great trade deal with China. Recently.
Yeah, it was great. You mean phase 1? Whatever happened to phase 2, 3, and 4?
They had the biggest order of corn in the history of our country, biggest order of soybeans, biggest order of beef. But you know what? it's no longer the same to me.
Oh, it makes you sad, doesn't it? It's just it's I don't know. You don't send me flowers. You don't sing me love songs. You hardly buy my corn anymore. Just give me COVID and run out the door. All right. Sorry.
Doesn't mean the same. Would have been great.
It doesn't mean the same.
Would have been so proud of it, but now I don't view it the same.
Oh, it's just sad. I mean, I don't even know how you deal.
Normal life, that's all we want. Normal life will fully resume. We had the greatest economy in our history. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. We're doing it. We have a super V going up. If you look at housing.
First of all, I mean, the housing and used car thing is a lot of people are downsizing because they think this problem is going to be with us economically for the next, year to 5 years.
If you look at cars,
How many times I've been to China? I've been 12 times.
Production, nobody can believe the numbers. And you're going to have a number released very soon. And
Sure, I hope.
number is going to be, think of this.
Okay, a completely trustworthy number that will require no adjustments 2 weeks later.
You're going to have a GDP. Now, the Fed, Atlanta, I believe, the Atlanta Fed projected GDP of 35% in the third quarter. I don't know if it's going to be 35. In any event, that would be higher than any GDP ever in history.
We don't have a 35% GDP. You are insane. Like, and a rise in GDP? And that's because we were in a 30. So he's assuming it goes back to normal. The Atlanta Fed is assuming we go back to normal, and we have 2% growth after we recover the 32% that was, that went in the shitter.
And many times higher than our highest, which I think was like 7 or 8%. 35%, we'll see. We'll see. Whether if it was 20%, if it was 12%, I'd say it was great. But they just came out, they said 30. Who knows if they're right? We're going to see. Here's the good.
What is he talking about? 30% of G.
But they just came out, they said 35. Who knows if they're right? We're going to see.
Oh, he means 3.5% growth. Thanks, Jose. What a bunch of.
Here's the good news.
He said 35%.
It's great. But they.
Wait, I got to back up because.
In the third quarter. I don't know if it's going to be 35. You're going to have a GDP. Now, the Fed, Atlanta, I believe, the Atlanta Fed projected GDP of 35% in the third quarter. I don't know if it's going to be 35. In any event, that would be higher than any GDP ever in history, and many times higher than our highest, which I think was like 7 or 8%. 35%, we'll see.
He didn't have he never had 7 or 8% in growth in GDP. Like, get out of here. Thank you, Deborah.
We'll see. Whether if it was 20%, if it was 12%, I'd say it was great.
This is just garbage.
But they just came out, they said 35. Who knows if they're right? We're going to see.
Yeah,
Here's
we'll
the good
see.
news. It's going.
Okay, hold on. Wait. What the hell? Hold on. Atlanta Fed 35%. Atlanta Fed GDP now estimate for 2020, Q3 Federal Reserve. So this is what he's talking about. Let's see. Evolution. Let's see. These are. I can't tell what he's actually sourcing. Blue chip consensus. Rather, oh, that's. GDP now is not an official forecast of the Atlanta Fed. Rather, it is best viewed as a running estimate of real GDP growth based on available economic data. This is kind of what he's talking about. Evolution of Atlanta Fed GDP now real estimate for 2020 quarterly percentage change. I mean, he's doing with GDP what he was doing with employment numbers. 11 million people didn't go back to the job they had. Oh, no, no, no. Those are brand new jobs. I created those jobs. Their other jobs still exist in fantasy land. Meanwhile, this is what he's doing with the quarterly growth of this. Jesus Christ.
To be announced right.
Yeah, they just
before November 3rd.
Totally. Announced that we've had 35% growth in GDP. And everyone at your rally will have to explain why they're not a millionaire instantly.
Right before. And I'm willing to take my chances being a gambling man.
You're a gambling man? Probably not the best time to bring up casinos in your last 2 weeks of your argument why you should be given 4 more years.
To take my chances. I think it's going to be a magnificent, whether it's 25, 35, 20, no matter what it is, it's going to be a great number because we're doing numbers like nobody would believe. We thought we'd have an unemployment of 40, 42%. You know what it was? It dropped down to 7.8%. And yesterday,
10.2.
Larry Kudlow called, the great Larry Kudlow, and he said,
yeah, you can trust him. He speaks bourbon. Maybe we could get him up to translate you.
By a certain standard,
we're looking at probably a. I mean, this is what the president calls it a super V. I don't know if that's it's not exactly a scientific term, but that's we're looking very like, yeah.
5.8%. Think of that, and we're in the midst of rounding out, but in the midst of a pandemic. It's actually amazing what everybody has done.
Yes, I saw Mitch McConnell's hands. Thank you.
And I've been given a lot of help.
Everybody in the chat, have you seen Mitch McConnell's hands?
With some of the people over here. I gave you the largest tax cut and reforms in American history, and we will cut taxes further, and we're cutting taxes for the middle class. We're cutting taxes for people that need jobs, and nobody's ever done it at a level like we've done it. By contrast, Sleepy Joe Biden will give you the single biggest tax hike in the history of our country. He's talking about quadrupling taxes, $4 trillion in taxes so he can waste it on the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal. No cars, no airplanes, no cows.
Yeah. Don Jr. Rented these ladies.
No cows, Whatever happened? Did they ever leave the cows in? I think they had to take that out, right? Remember? Originally, it was no cows. They didn't want to have any cattle or cows, which is pretty brutal when you think of it, right?
Yeah, there's just going to be a big cow culling. Or maybe AOC +3 is going to release dairy cows onto the plains of Montana so that they can, set in motion a tipping point in the ecosystem that causes a super pack of wolves. Why not?
Regulations, dismantle your police departments, dissolve our borders, confiscate your guns.
Shoot your grandmother, saw off your thumb, and start Sharia law, but only for traffic stops. Close all zoos and replace them with barbed wire museums. It's gonna be terrible.
Terminate religious liberty.
Oh, yeah. You always have to worry about that with Catholics.
Destroy your suburbs.
I swear to God, he thinks this tests well. He's not buying it.
I'm always saying.
Yeah, we know
I tell you, the fraudulent media. So.
Tell us the story. Tell me the story. Explain to me the part I haven't gotten yet about your shit pitch to suburban housewives. And they said, don't call them that.
I'm always saying, I'll tell you, the fraudulent media. So I always get up and I have fun. Please, suburban women, you should love me. I ended the regulation that's going to destroy the suburbs. Please, please.
I was just joking. That was like sarcastic, just like the bleach thing. That was sarcastic, you know it.
Suburban women, you should love me, you know, because somebody said I'm not doing that well with suburban women. I said, why? Last time I was supposed to be doing terribly with women. Then I got 52%. They said, what the hell happened with Trump and women all of a sudden? Remember, they said Trump did well with women.
Yeah, they've learned their lesson.
So, now they go. So I kid. I say, please, please, suburban women, please, please love me, suburban women. I want you to love me. Because I got rid of the regulation that's going to destroy your neighborhood. You don't want to have projects next to your house. You don't want to have crime in the suburbs, etc., right? So I go on 60.
Again, this, am I the only person who's bringing this up? That the elimination of this rule is not to protect the suburbs from an onslaught of poor black people, which is the appeal he's making. He's using that. What this is really about is freeing up land that the government has across the country for private developers to build apartment buildings and single-family homes. Because it's billions of dollars in real estate. Most of which, because of him, will be bought by foreign LLCs.
Minutes, and she says, Leslie Stahl, that's another beauty. She goes, you were begging suburban women to love you, weren't you? I said, no, I was just having fun. We were just having fun. These people are sick.
These people are sick.
They are bad. They are bad.
Next thing you're going to say, I wasn't sarcastic about bleaching light bulbs up your ass.
They want to decimate Florida seniors, and seniors, all seniors, okay?
They want to decimate Florida seniors. Are we just, is it going to kind of be like the end of Fargo? Or are we just going to chuck them in a wood chipper? Is Biden running? Is there something on Joe's vision page on joebiden.com about a Logan's Run policy that I'm not aware of?
And by the way, what I've done for suburban women, but suburban people that live in the suburbs, that's really the dream. That's the American dream. And 30% of the people, because people say, oh, is that racist? 30% of the people living in the suburbs are minority groups. Hispanic American, Black American.
If I could get rid of them, I would.
Think of it.
Just too quiet.
Asian American, 31% are from minority groups. For years, Joe Biden fought to cut
fading or
Social Security. He wanted to cut it. He wanted to knock it out. And Medicare.
No, he didn't. They were going to cap all federal spending, all of it. They were going to limit growth of overall federal spending on everything.
Which Joe is now falsely denied. You notice? Oh, I loved it yesterday, the way he denied that.
Yeah, did you? Is that why you hit Melania's hand and shoved her off the stage?
So does that mean you want to get rid of fossil fuel, Joe? Yes, that's what it means. Oh, thank you. This debate, let's end it. Let's end it right now. By the way, I got treated I thought, very fairly by the anchor.
Not an anchor, she's a moderator, dummy. Moderator. Debates have moderators. Debates don't have anchors.
What, right? Kristen, I was surprised.
Amy, do I want to be a rancher? No, but I have thought about buying a missile silo and living inside it.
She's been a little bit rough on me over the years. I was surprised, but her, network has been crazy. NBC, Comcast, C-O-N, Comcast.
Oh my God, I was kidding earlier, and now he's doing it.
But I thought Kristen did a very good job yesterday. Some people said she interrupted me much more than she interrupted Sleepy Joe. But that's...
No, you talked when it wasn't your turn more often, so she shut you down. Joe didn't step on what she was saying. That's like saying they threw more water on me just because I was on fire. They never threw any water on him.
Because he didn't have that much to say, so. But no, I thought she was fair. I said it during the show. I said, I think you've handled it very professionally. It's not easy. So today I want to show you.
Yeah, it helped that your mic was off.
Joe Biden's own words. The video I'm about to play was created by Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie.
So they're now playing. He can't get political. He can't afford to get his political ads on TV. So he's now playing them to rallies. I mean, this is like old school, like Christian revival, anti-abortionist stuff.
You know, Bernie's the single greatest loser. The way he loses, he gets Sportsmanship of the Year, right? What they did to him 4 years ago was quite terrible. What they did to him this year was even. Then he just goes back to Congress and talks. He's Crazy Bernie. A lot of his people are going to come with us because you know why? They love our trade policy. Because he.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Bernie fans are going to vote for you. I mean, your trade policies are enough for them to turn a blind eye to everything else about you. Because you know what? Because they're true Bernie supporters. That's the thing. I mean, I know Cenk Uygur's going to end up voting for you, but I'm kidding. He's not. Anna is.
Like me, understands how badly we've been taken advantage of by other countries, including our allies, by the way.
Oh, they're the worst.
The video I'm about to play was created by Crazy Bernie earlier this year to expose Joe Biden's atrocious record and his egregious lies. Go ahead, play it, Mr. DeMille.
So he can't even afford his own ads. He's playing Bernie Sanders campaign ads at his rallies. Oh, I believe me, Tina, and I've thought about a missile silo in Montana. Believe me.
Yeah. Have you been on the floor of the Senate? You were in the Senate for a few years now. Time and time again, talking about the necessity with pride about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs. No. You never said that. No.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans. I meant every single solitary thing in that.
Yeah, this is him like, look at this. Nailed it. Okay, first of all, the entire government was talking about a balanced budget amendment, and they were talking about everything in the government being capped, so that the growth of it over time would deal with the budgetary deficit, so that it wouldn't ultimately go broke, and then there wouldn't be any Social Security, any Medicare, Medicaid. And Biden said that in good faith. He was arguing against Republicans who were trying to cut and paste little pieces of it. And he's like, no, it's all or nothing. And unless you want to go on record saying you want to cut Medicare and Medicaid, we're putting everything on the table. But if you want to, start, you're just using it, it was to expose Republican hypocrisy that he was doing this. Like, look, we put everything in the government on the table. Everything has to be at the exact same strategic percentage lower and stop the overall growth to make sure that we don't have a deficit that runs out of control. And what are you guys doing? You're going, well, we don't mean this piece. Well, our piece. We don't mean this piece. We don't mean this piece. And Biden was arguing in the Senate. We're arguing in good faith for the entire spending of the whole U.S. government to keep it within budgetary bounds. And you only do that by doing an even cut across everything and stop the growth, like pace the growth forward till you deal with it. Now, there is an argument that the Democrats offering those cuts in Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, HUD, a bunch of other things, was not in good faith, and that they knew this wasn't going to go through, and that they effectively were using it to call out Republicans. I'm genuinely curious about your disagreement with TYT. Did something happen? They are a voter suppression group, and they are responsible for a good portion of the votes that didn't get cast in 2016. And Cenk can go on all he wants about we encourage people to vote and whatnot, but then that's a 30-second moment in their entire stream, and the rest of the time is Anna and other people goading each other on into what's the point. That's my problem with them. Also, I met them backstage at Politicon, and they were complete frauds.
Look, you're honest, like, why don't you just tell the truth? You don't have to say. I am telling the truth.
And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it the third time, and I tried it the fourth time.
Joe, let me repeat it again. I want
That was from the same argument.
you just
And they're intercutting stuff from the thing that they're playing, man.
I am saying that you have been on the floor of the Senate time and time again talking about the need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Veterans Programs. Is that true or is that not? No, it's not true. What, that is not true? That is not true.
I'm not veteran, man. I'm at every single solitary thing.
By the way, they keep going back, and if you'll notice in that clip and in Bernie's video that they put out, Bernie's campaign was disingenuous about this. They used the exact same thing from the floor fight about the total government spending lower package to point out that somehow Joe Biden was specifically trying to torpedo Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid over the years, which is an absolute absurdity, and they know it, and Bernie knows it, and certainly, I mean, I don't think Trump knows it. I'm getting into the point where I'm starting to look at him the way he looks at Biden. Like, I don't think he knows what's going on, and he keeps doing this. See, watch the video, boom.
Everything was on the table. I did not support any of those cuts in Social Security or in veterans.
Whoa. Everything was on the table. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, this and Bernie lost this argument in the debate.
That's it, including, in your judgment, cuts to Social Security and Veterans.
In order to get the kinds of changes we need on other things, and they but we did not cut it.
I know, because people like me help stop that. All that I would say to the American people, don't need
And I love how, like, he's watching. We are now at the point where Donald Trump is playing Bernie ads on a big screen at his campaign rallies. Cenk ran for Congress. Yes, as effectively as a spoiler to stop a Democratic woman from getting in. That seat is now in the hands of a Republican, and he never in the entirety of the time that he ran for that seat in the primary for it, ran against the Republicans on the other side. He ran against her and ended up shaving off enough points where in the runoff, she was competing against two Republicans that one of them was able to eke it out.
Joe said it many times. I'm surprised. You can defend it or change your mind on it, but you can't deny.
Yeah, I'm not kidding about this. About the TYT thing. I'm not. All seriousness.
The reality.
I'll tell you what, do these people do a good job?
What do you mean, Bernie's campaign?
Do they do a good job? No, he's a liar.
Do these people do a good job? You are borrowing the campaign work of another campaign.
Lies about everything. He's now lying about not being a corrupt politician. I called him last night. He's a corrupt I don't want to say that, but he's a corrupt politician.
Why wouldn't you want to say that? If somebody's a corrupt politician, why wouldn't you want to say it?
And he'll lie. But he lied about that. He lied about fracking. And he'll look at you and he'll lie. He goes, there will be no fracking, will be no fracking. This goes on for a year.
So the tweets about declassifying everything related to the Russian hoax, the Mueller investigation, the Senate and House investigations. So when you tweeted that out and you repeatedly called for that from the podium in the press corps room, you weren't being a politician at that moment, I see.
Then he goes to Pennsylvania. He says, there'll be fracking. And then you'll say, well, wait, you said there will be none. He'll say, no, I never said that. This guy is either really stupid or he lies, just at a level that nobody's ever seen before. By the way, that's a great video. Who did that video? I love that video. Who the hell did it?
You said at the beginning, it was a Sanders campaign attack ad.
Some good, talented people.
Yeah, at the Sanders campaign.
Under my leadership, no one will touch your Medicare and nobody will touch your Social Security, okay?
No, you just remove the tax that pays for it and destroy it from within. Nobody's going to touch it. We're going to poison its water.
By the way, that's a devastating video. I just saw it for the first.
I was devastated. I mean, obviously the fake news won't show the video. They won't show the crowd. They just show you and the Tampa ladies you rented behind you.
That's devastating. Now Biden's pushing free government health care, which is socialized medicine.
So he's going to get rid of Medicare and Medicaid, but he's going to expand it and give it to people.
And mass amnesty for illegal aliens, meaning he wants to take care of illegal aliens before he takes care of our seniors. And you know, the problem is we all want to take care of everybody.
No, if they have access, if you're giving them Medicare or Medicaid, which is for DACA people anyways, but if you're giving them that, then you can't, it has to be a functioning system or you can't give it to anyone.
If you ever do that, where you give Medicare, you give free everything, including education, you're going to have this country swamped with millions and millions of people from all over
Only if the education stays really good.
the world wanting to
Isn't that weird? Like,
pour in to get it. You can't do it. And it would obliterate your Medicare and your Social Security. Totally obliterate it. Joe Biden cares more about illegal aliens than he does about senior citizens, and that's true. And you see it in that clip. I believe that American seniors must come first, okay? Must come first, it's true. Must come first.
in what way? You mean in just the handing out of government health care?
Last night, Biden outlined a plan to create socialized medicine, rating Medicare to fund his government takeover. Biden.
What are you talking about? He's offering a public option, meaning you buy into, through either a tax break or actual funds, a government-run healthcare single-payer system as an option. You can have private healthcare, and then you can also have public. Private insurance and public insurance. In the same way that some people go to public school, most people, and then they go to a private university to learn a special skill or add on to that. Or some people rely on the police, for example, but also hire private security. Or you have sprinklers in your house, which are, and fire suppression systems that you put in yourself. But you also have a fire department. See how there's a public option, and then you can supplement that part of it.
His running mate, the most liberal member of the United States Senate. And by the way, Kamala will not be your first female president. She will not be your first female president.
Why not?
It's not the way it's supposed to be. We're not.
That's not the way it's supposed to be. What shit are you talking about? So George H.W. Bush shouldn't have become the first Bush to become president because he was vice president under Reagan?
Supposed to have a socialist. Look, we're not going to be a socialist nation. We're not going to have a socialist president, especially a female socialist president. We're not going to have it. We're not going to put up with it. It's not going to happen. Most liberal member.
Wait. What? Okay, first of all, what? What the shit? What does the gender of the politician have to do with the policy? Good God. I mean, so you just make this pitch to suburban women, and you're like, and your team, what's left of them, the ones that aren't in jail, are telling you, look, you're screwing the pooch with the female voters. Can you not? And you're like, yeah, I'll go out there and I'll say, please like me, and then they'll like me, and it's done. Got it? Okay, cool. And then come out and say she will not be your first female president for random reasons. And then we're not going to have a socialist president, which we're not. And we're certainly not going to have a female socialist president. How does that make it worse or better or different than a male socialist? So this is the part that, like, the obvious misogyny we can put on a shelf right now for a second, because it's clear this is just racked up with all kinds of, little ding-ding issues with ladies, where he's got issues on multiple levels, and the misogyny is ripe with this one. But I'm curious why he thinks it would be superior to have a male socialist president more so than the female socialist. Like, okay, we're going to have a socialist president. It's a dude, right? Like, this is the goofiest, laziest, stupidest. I'm literally at a loss for words, because I can't figure out why the variation in, because we know they hate socialism as a concept, and we know that they think it's basically a code word for communism and all that stuff. That's fine. And you guys know my opinion about socialism. What we have in this country that most people call socialism, like firemen and firefighters and cops and the standing army and infrastructure and Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, aren't socialists. They are democratic acts of taxation. We as a democracy have said we want to spend our money on these things to take care of our society. They're not the government seizing the means of doing that. So anyways, never mind. That's for another side. But the idea that somehow he's like, we're not going to have a socialist president, but it's sure as shit not going to be a lady. So if you look at all the socialist dictators that are, that they always like to bring up, most of them Latin American, or if they really dig deep, they'll go, the Nazis were a socialist, and then, the National Socialists. That's okay. So that's what happens with socialism. And, and all the people killed by the socialist, dictators have all been men. And how is the woman part, like, it's just a weird instant. It's a weird thing to insert into the concept. Like, I know he's shitty with women, and I know he has no respect for them, and I know he's garbage and he wants to have sex with his daughter. Yeah. But I didn't realize I think it's just the liquor, because it's just so pathological. It's just wedging itself in. Like, the thoughts are starting to sneak out in ways that he used to have control over them. You know what I mean? He used to have a leash on those dogs, maybe. But holy shit, that was dumb.
More so than Bernie of the U.S. Senate, co-sponsors a socialist health care plan to end Medicare.
More so, what are you talking about? If you're talking about Medicare for all, she's co-sponsoring something that Bernie said. So she doesn't end up to the left of the dude who wrote the bill.
As you know it, and Medicare works. Medicare works. We love our Medicare. It does work.
Yeah.
Can eliminate Medicare.
And speaking as a guy who just had his life saved by government health care.
Which nearly 2 million Florida seniors depend on, including 1 out of every 2 Hispanic seniors.
Yeah, and by the way, if they got Medicare through or Medicaid, actually, in the lead up to them getting citizenship, he wants to deny them citizenship because they took advantage of Medicaid.
You see how well I'm doing with Hispanic? You see? They're going crazy. No, they're going crazy. They don't know what happened. They're going like our Democrat rivals. They're having a lot of time. African American doing well. Hispanic. The Hispanic is like, they don't know what's going on.
He just speaks to the Hispanic community so well. And obviously, this is why he got such good news out of Arizona.
Not the Hispanics. I'm talking the Democrats. They're saying, what the hell is going on here?
No. There's a large contingent of pro-life Hispanics in the country. They vote Republican consistently.
Oh, you're going to have a big surprise. You know that beautiful, beautiful, good, you heard about the red wave, right? It's called the Great Wave. We're all waiting for that great red wave. But you know.
Yeah. I can't wait for the elevator doors on The Shining to open.
You know, we're supposed to be, it's supposed to be all these votes are going to come in and then we catch them up later on because our people like to go to vote, like me. But we catch up.
Yeah, you really love to go to vote. We've always seen you throughout yeah. You totally, when you voted, have always gone.
Later on. There's only one problem. In a lot of cases, we're already winning. This is before the wave. We're already winning. So a lot of interesting things are happening, and those guys back there are saying, well, some of them like it, I think, but you know the interesting thing without me? You know what's going to happen to their ratings? Boom, boom.
Yeah, so what? Can I just say for the record, like what I do is commentary and comedy. This is basically what we're doing. Occasionally I will give lessons in debate and speech, just because I know a thing or two. But the news isn't supposed to give a shit about ratings. Ever. The news is supposed to be details and genuine analysis. The fact that Fox News made this about ratings is to the detriment of news. You don't go to the news because you watch it every night. You go to the news because something happens and you know it's a trusted source.
Can you imagine if you had 4 years of covering Sleepy Joe?
Yep. Yeah, we would all talk about other shit. And all those times in our lives when we didn't have to wake up every day and doom scroll to see what you had fucked into a cocked hat.
It wouldn't be 4 years. Since I took...
What you think they would call for an impeaching Joe Biden because the news is boring? Eat a bag of frog assholes.
Office, we've reduced Medicare Advantage premiums by 34%. Good management. Socialist health care programs like the one supported by Biden.
You mean because they were $10 and they went to $7?
And Harris always end up denying
because they were scheduled to do that?
Coverage to the sick and the elderly in order to reduce the soaring costs.
Oh, no problem, CSL. Tell them I said hi.
Opponents want to turn America into a...
Medicare is not socialist. Medicare is democratic taxation used to protect people amongst the society. It's not... Medicare pays out money for people to get health care. We do not have state-run medical facilities that you go to when you're on Medicare. You don't go to private hospitals. You go or urgent cares or whatever. You would go for it to be socialist medicine. You would have to go to a government-run medical facility. That's the difference between socialism and what we have in the United States.
I mean, is Cuba into a social?
It's an important distinction, and it never really gets brought up.
Venezuela, if you look at the ideology that...
Which, and Venezuela's whole thing is about nationalization of oil and the attacks that came at them the minute they did that.
These people are talking about, take a look at Portland with the anarchists all over the place. By the way, we're asking the government...
By the way, has Portland been on your news screen since the feds left? Any more than any other big city? No.
Governor for approval to go in and clean out that mess, which has been going on for 140 days. But it's really been going on...
No, it hasn't.
For many years. It's been going on like for Portland. Anarchists.
He cut it. He was going to say for 20 years.
And it'd be so easy.
Well, then do it.
Look at what we did in...
Then do it. Do it. If your only answer is troops in the street, you're an asshole. There's got to be some way to solve it.
Minneapolis. After 10 days of rioting and everything else, we sent in the National Guard.
And they had already stopped rioting?
They lined up again. The world's most expensive outfits, $250,000 apiece. Helmet.
The world's most expensive outfits. That's what you wear. When you're a riot cop or you're in the National Guard, you don't wear fatigues or body armor or protective clothing or helmets. You're an outfit. An outfit.
Instead of like a solid computer, right? and they had their tear gas, they had their pepper spray.
Should we just jump from one to the next?
Which the Democrats don't want you to use. They don't want you to use anything. They want you to get hit. They want you to get hit with rocks and stones. But they had their tear gas, and they just marched for.
No, I don't. I'm a Democrat. I've been voting Democratic for the Democratic Party since I was 18 years old. I don't want cops to be hit with rocks and stones. If you throw rocks and stones at cops just randomly from because you're feeling the need to riot or protest, you're not helping. Go vote. Start laying the seeds for a real society. Stop, this is like specifically for a lot, and it's not when we talk about like George Floyd protesters and the difference between them and rioters and looters. Looters are different; they're just thieves. Rioters, especially in the ones that kind of vacillate in Portland, are white suburban upper class kids. They're basically just shy of school shooters, and they, this is more an expression of their angst than their actual political will. And when they start throwing shit, including firebombs and lighting each other on fire, or spray painting federal buildings, which are cleaned with tax dollars, their parents' money. And I'm not saying that just as a pejorative. Literally, Portland just came back that most of the people that they're arresting are not, they're not people of color. They don't align with quote unquote Antifa. They are well-to-do suburban white kids from the suburbs, throwing soup, of course. But the writer, once you start that part of it, you're an agent for the other side. You're an agent for the chaos itself. You're not actually for the system fixing itself. You're for no system at all.
In 1.5 hours, the whole thing was over. It was all over.
Yeah, it was almost as if nobody was rioting at that point.
The only problem is they should have called us in sooner. If Biden wins, the radical left will transform this
They should have called us in before George Floyd was killed, and then we could have,
country into something that you will not recognize. They'll want to shatter the middle class with trillions of dollars in new taxes. $4 trillion. Pack
2.5. 2.5 over 10 years. They just did the numbers on it, 2.5. The GAO, 2.5 trillion over 10 years for all the packages that he's putting together, which would result in 18 million new jobs and $1 trillion in economic growth. Above all that.
Supreme Court with far less.
So you get the 2.5 back, and above that, you'll get another $1 trillion in growth. So it pays for itself, and it earns $1 trillion. That's how the GAO marked out Biden's plan.
Judges, 16, 18, 20. And how do you like Amy Coney Barrett?
You had to think for a second.
Right? Everybody. She's great.
Yeah, the Bernie people are really going to go for Amy Coney Barrett. I think more than the trade policy, they're really on board for that.
She's great. She's great. She made them look a little foolish, didn't she? As the Democrats went after her, it was like, boom. What do you have written down? What do you have written down on your pad? Nothing. Right?
Yeah, you don't do that. Don't hold up something. Like sometimes my camera will go off and the green screen's here. I'm like, nope.
Sort of cool. Happened to be a Republican that asked the question, but.
Right. Because it wasn't a gotcha. They were trying to be impressive. She only knew about the cases that she had written on, which means she has an entire staff, works with a bunch of people in Scalia's office. They worked on a bunch of specific issues, but then they asked her, could the president delay an election, which is against the law, and she didn't know. Perhaps next time, write on the pad, find out normal shit that I should know.
That one out, right? They want to unleash the violent rioters, criminal.
Yeah, she didn't know the 5 freedoms in the First Amendment. And the fascinating part, Gene, thanks for bringing that up. The fascinating part of that was that the one she forgot was right to protest and petition the government for a redress of grievances, which is what the Supreme Court is for. I mean, did that not, was that not a lightning bolt to everyone's head, for Christ's sake? Amy Coney Barrett is asked, what are the 5 freedoms covered in the First Amendment? And her response was, speech, press, and she kind of wandered on it. And at the end, she kind of pulls a Rick Perry. But the one she leaves off is redress of grievances, protest and redress of grievances. The judicial system, in terms of deciding whether a piece of legislation is constitutional or not, and whether or not it can be struck down through the Supreme Court, is specifically the redress of grievances. That a citizen can fight the government using the courts. That's amazing to me. If she'd have blitzed on one of the others, it wouldn't have been that weird. Thanks, Norman. I'm a big fan of the Constitution. But that part of it, I was like, you're shitting me, really? She forgets the part that would give her a job. What?
Aliens, MS-13 killers, and they will indoctrinate your grandchildren and your children with poisonous anti-American lies in their schools, which we've ended.
Yeah, now we've got Operation North Korea.
Want your grandchildren to grow up in a free nation where they can speak their minds and pursue the American dream, then you must defeat Sleepy Joe Biden and the radical left. You have to do it. And it's not really Joe. Look, let's face it, Joe doesn't have a clue.
No,
but he's surrounded by people.
By the way, the whole Joe doesn't have a clue. Joe's shot. Joe's senile. Joe's got dementia. Joe's old. I don't know how you float that in the villages. It's like talking at a place for mom and going, people get, he's too old, Joe's over the hill, folks. And people who get old. And you just start thinking, oh boy, he's crazy.
That are definitely, they've got some problems. You got to reject the left-wing fascism.
Old people? Shit.
And vote for American freedom. Our country is...
Didn't Hitler burn books? I think so, but I also know that it wasn't so much that Hitler burned books. I don't know that he was actually president at one. That maybe he was around one. The point was he got the people to do it. That's the concern point. Honestly, this dude, when he said earlier, I wish I could give a speech and there was no press there. Yeah, I wish you would just yell this shit at your television in your living room and leave the rest of the country alone to operate like adults.
To be greater than ever before. Watch. We're set. We're joined today by some incredible people.
Okay.
For governor, and he did.
Yeah. We'll go through the cast list.
Never speak to him again.
This is the coy,
we don't win.
The coy if I don't win shit that he does at all these, which he laid that out. He got some pushback, and now it's a running gag.
If we don't win, I'll never speak to him again.
Yeah, because you're counting on him to mess with the election. Oh, God. Why would it be his fault if you don't win? Unless you are literally committing a crime and manipulating the electoral rolls in Florida, what difference does it make if the governor, what did they do to deserve your ire? This is him admitting that he's counting on this dude to scuttle the election for him. Why did Ivanka get trademarks for voting machines? Because she bought some voting machines and filed for a trademark. It's terrible. It's unethical and gross. But it's legal. And it's sketchy. And here's the thing. One of the things I would like to see presented, if I may, in the future, is a federally mandated voter system for all federal elections. So if we love pork knuckle Montana, but if they want to pick their mayor with a cow pie throwing contest, knock yourself out. But if you're choosing an elected official who will affect everyone else, there's got to be a uniform standard for the country that's verifiable and not up to the Secretary of State who may or may not be with the party that's in charge of the government. It's ridiculous.
A warrior, a great guy that has always been there for me. He's tough, he's strong, he's smart.
Rick Gates.
Congressman Mike Waltz. Congressman.
What does he look like? What does Mike Waltz look like?
In politics.
I'm not the thing. I'm gonna do this same shit. So this is
great woman, great person.
Okay, they're trying to
Inspirational.
salvage.
He's running for president.
He's salvaging the down ticket stuff.
Think of it. We have this guy that can't even speak, and he goes, "We're entering a dark winter."
This guy who can't even speak. You mean his stutter? You're talking about his stutter? Oh, and do we go for all the times? Because Biden has a stutter, and he's worked on it all his life, and it's an obvious thing, and anybody who has a stutter will tell you what the issue is and how you deal with it and what strategies you can use. Meanwhile, what's your excuse?
Bureaucracia, free health care for illegal. Look.
Okay,
so inspirational. But he's trying to scare people, basically. He's trying to
He's trying to warn people. I mean, obviously Trump is now running for, the mayor of Jawstown.
Because he's been such a failure at every level of government that this is something. But what they don't.
That Violence Against Women Act thing, the ACA getting actually done, the Recovery Act, the auto bailout. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Remember is the swine flu and how bad it was, but I bring that up whenever I can.
Yeah, we know, and it doesn't work.
But we're not entering a dark winter. We're entering the final turn and approaching the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it's an oncoming train. Hi, Ballroom.
I took very rapid.
Al, if and when Democrats win, do you think the next DOJ will open investigation into all things Trump? No. I do think that what they are going to do, the DOJ is going to give relative autonomy to SDNY and the Virginia AG and others to deal with any crimes that happen in their jurisdiction. And if they cross federal lines, they will process them. The idea that he's going to run on, that there's going to be this major burn down of the Trumps after they leave office is fairly slim. What will happen to them is that their normal run-of-the-mill business graft bullshit that they can't stop doing will continue to get them in trouble. And whoever looks into the next thing they do will include in it as evidence, part of the evidentiary case against them and other charges filed, shit they've done in the past. That's probably what's going to happen.
But action to ban travel from China and Europe, and Biden opposed it. We pioneered incredible therapies, and we reduced the fatality rate by 85%.
He's been saying the same statistic since August, July, really, late July, right? And then he keeps it's going up right now.
That what we've learned.
It's not that it stinks. It's the DC 2257. The DOJ and all the strategy about it will be a long-term strategy. It's, we're not going to get in a situation where we're pouncing on people as soon as they leave office, even as awful as they are. If Cheney's not under a jail somewhere, Trump's going to get a relative softball comparatively. The problem with him is that he is going to continue openly committing crimes financially because he's in deep shit. And he's going to get busted for it. And they're going to lose their business license, and they're going to end up moving the Trump organization will either be in Ireland or the Cayman Islands, more than likely, or UAE at this point.
And we went out and we made just incredible things. The equipment we made, the equipment that we bought, the ventilators. We're the king of ventilators now as a country. Everybody has ventilators. We're sending them all over the world. We're making them.
We're the king of ventilators at this. Or at 5:30. I should wrap up today. There's no way we're going to cover the like more than one of these and still have hold on one second. I'm finding something. Is it? Call it KOV. Hold on one second. I have to look something up. There it is. Yuki. Where's that? Rap. I'll find it. All right, let's play this and then I'll grab it in the back.
We're the only one could do anything like that. It's the biggest mobilization of any.
People can even. You can't even. I mean, don't even start with me.
Since World War II, the ventilators.
Oh my God. Yeah. The last time the fire department, we haven't had this much water going through our hoses since the last big fire. This is so stupid. He does this all the time. This is just ridiculous. Yeah. Cheney was involved in like graft, no-bid contracts, and the open death of civilians. If that bastard lived out his life without being charged, there's no way they go after Trump the same way. But Cheney receded back into Wyoming and besides shooting his friend, did basically nothing in front of the public. Trump will be making public statements and committing crimes out in the open after he leaves office. Just count on it, and as will his kids.
It's a big thing. And I'm working to make the antibody treatment that I received available free to anybody that needs it. And we'll have
so everybody there can get an autoimmune disorder in 5 years when the effects of it show up. I'm bringing something up. I want to find something before I go. Jesus, is this next one?
Government.
Yeah. Look at this. Hold on.
And which will be outlawed. That's what they want to do. They will decide which rights you can keep and which will be revoked. They will re-educate your children. They will cancel your culture.
They're going to oh no. There has to be another season of Blacklist. I know there's a lot of time passing, but still.
Though we're making it very hard on them. You saw the withdrawals. I've made them all over the country. They wanted to re-educate our people. They wanted to disrespect our people.
Disrespect our people? What do you mean? The South will rise again clan won't have... Jesus.
It was racist. It was terrible what they were doing. They'll order you to stay at home while letting rioters and MS-13 killers roam free.
Yeah, that's basically why Kamala Harris did so well in the Democratic primary. Was that's why she had it so rough. Because just Dems don't want somebody who's gonna let MS-13 and murderers and rioters just roam free. She was too soft on crime.
Saw that. Stay home, don't go to church. They don't want you to go to church, but if you want to riot in the middle of a main street, you can do it. You want to riot on Fifth Avenue, there's no problem.
But can I shoot someone? No, I guess I can't. Yeah, I mean you can't. I can't. I couldn't possibly.
Can't go to church, but you can riot. In fact, we usually
no. That's interior, old people, churches endangering their worshipers. See why it's in a. And by the way, Michigan, who of course you're siding with the kidnappers in her case. She rescinded the church order in June. It was a 2-month lockdown. And then she expanded it to include travel. This is just such goofy bullshit.
We call these friendly protests because you're not allowed to have political parties, right? Now, in this case, you can.
Okay. You mean political rallies?
Because we're in a place called Florida.
But again, remind me how Biden can't speak.
And we have a great governor.
Wherever he is.
We have a great governor. Did he say a few words? Did he do a good job? But we don't want to hear from him again, right? No, Ron's doing a great job, thank you.
Yeah,
the only one better is his first lady. There's no question about it. Great couple. Eddie's great.
Okay, every time as he continues to do this, it no longer looks like he's being friendly. It seems like he's being lascivious.
No, but they have in some states where the only thing you can do is protest. In other words, you can't do anything, but if you want to protest, so we call in certain states this, we call it a protest. It's a very friendly protest. It's great people, but we call it a protest, and nobody's ever had crowds like we've had. No. If you want your children to grow up in a free nation where they can speak their minds, practice their religion, and live by their values, then you must defeat sleepy Joe Biden and the radical left. You have to do it. You gotta do it. Reject left-wing fascism and vote for American freedom. Vote for America first, because that's what we're all about. America first. And you know, when other countries come in to see me, I say, I'm sorry, it's America first. You know, they've been our allies. Forget about our enemies. Our enemies, obvious. But our allies have taken tremendous advantage of us on trade, on the military.
Than Russia.
We protect them for nothing. Not anymore, by the way. You know, in NATO, I said, you got to pay. We get $130 billion a year more from me. They didn't do it for 50.
Shit again.
And I don't want to talk too much about it because there's a lot of cameras back there. That's a lot of fake news back there. A lot of fake news. But you know what happens? We have the great red wave, and that comes at the end when everybody goes out and votes, right?
Yeah, so I don't know that you guys saw, like, some of you have seen the Sexy Liberal 3. This isn't a spoiler alert, at least. I can get this. Here you go. Oh, wait. Can you not? Wait, you guys can't hear it? Damn it. Damn it. I was enjoying myself. I thought it was playing through. Hold on. I will fix that. I can fix that. I can do that. I can fix it. Hold on. This is silly. It will be worth the wait. 1 second. QuickTime Player. Here you go. Here you go. Now it'll work.
I'm Max Weezer, and thanks to Donald Trump, I'm the king of ventilators. Are you having trouble breathing? Do you have difficulty walking down a simple ramp? Are you afraid you're going to run out of heartbeats? Well, come on down to Max Weezer's King of Ventilators sale. We can get air in or out of any hole, or your ventilator is free. If you're still breathing, we got a ventilator for you. We got any kind of ventilator. We got volume cycled, pressure cycled, unicycle, bicycle, any kind of cycle you need. I've got new ventilators, slightly used ventilators, dented ventilators, giant ventilators, the world's smallest ventilator. Need a nebulizer? Don't be a nebuloser. Come on down to the king of ventilators. At our one-of-a-kind scent bricks, we're your aromatherapy warehouse. That's right, it's like inhaling a psychiatrist. Have you lost your sense of smell because of COVID? We'll throw in our unscented scent packs. Do they smell like anything? How the fuck would you know? My tube deals are insane! Whoa! Use our coupon code Blue Velvet for extra savings. Mommy! Our new Comfort Fit ventilators are like a fleshlight for your face. Ventilators are complicated. They're like a car, and my car is really complicated. But I got a ventilator you can hook up to your car. And if you get tired of your ventilator, you can use it for all kinds of things. I'm the king. Act now and use our coupon code Fox News and get your own free sports catheter. Need a new hose? We got more hose than a CPAC men's room. Don't be the king of hesitators. Come on down to Max Weezer, king of ventilators, on Highway 75. If it's not blocked by protesters. But if it is, just take the county road and come back to the, you know what, just go to our website. King of ventilators. We'll get you breathing unless you're dead. Dial 1-800.
So yeah, so for those of you that are thinking about getting tickets to Sexy Liberal, let that be an impetus. That was one of the things I did for them. I know, I couldn't not make the Blue Velvet reference. Thank you for noticing. Hashtag say my name. I mean, come on. Come on. Who does that? Who does a two-layer King of Ventilators? Or a Blue Velvet reference.
But let me just be very nice, because I don't want to go too far with this, because I'm watching all these people.
Yeah, that's why. He's worried.
Oh, the president maybe isn't doing. We're doing so much better than we were 4 years ago, and we did great. We did. We'll take that. But we're doing. Thank you. I feel the same way about you. Sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, sounds like a sweetheart.
Like a nice man.
Kiss him. Go over and kiss him. Kiss him right on the mouth. You felt like it the other night. Why not now? The guy sounds nice. He obviously loves you. He just said he did. Go kiss him on the mouth. But if I can do it, you can do it.
The votes are coming in, and we're way ahead of where we're supposed to be. In fact, in some...
Yes, that's true. You are way ahead of where you're supposed to be. Because where you're supposed to be is 3%. Like Waco, Texas, and the Dylan Roof fan club.
The states were more than even, and we're not supposed to. We're supposed to be like 80-20 behind, and we're even, and in some cases we're ahead. And they say, what's going on? And they say, like in Texas, a lot of people are showing up. This is great. This could be the end of Trump. Unfortunately, there are people. Okay? They got the sash, they got the hat, they got the whole deal. No, I think we're going to do very well.
So he's using the boat parade standard.
Oh, remember that?
Thanks for the bits, guys.
We had the same thing last time. This time it's even greater. But we had the fake polls. And we have some real polls. We're up 2 in Michigan. That's pretty good, you know. Considering it was decades before somebody won Michigan, we won it last time. Remember that? Donald Trump has won the great state of Michigan. Their heads exploded. Won Michigan. They go, did they just say he won Michigan?
Yeah, by less than a point. Meanwhile, October 22nd, 2020. This is old. Oh, quit it, Houston Chronicle. Let me at least see if I like your coverage before I decide to pay for it. So, there you go. Former Vice President Joe Biden leads in Texas in a poll of more than 3,000 likely voters released Thursday that showed him up with a 1 percentage point edge over President Donald Trump. At what point do you think at what point do you think a Democrat was, especially, and by the way, Biden himself, if you look at the argument during the lead up to the, or during the Democratic primary, is up by 1 point in Texas. You know how bad you have to screw the pooch as a Republican, be losing to a Democrat by 1 point? Trump won Michigan by the number of people who got a flat tire on the way to the polls. Yeah. Or just decided, I'm not going to vote. You know what I mean? Anna's right. Jill Stein really makes some great points, and I can vote down, but I can in good conscience vote for this woman. I mean, 33,000 emails. You've heard Donald Trump. You've heard his argument. How can you argue with that? All right. Morning consult poll, which is solid. 3,347 likely voters, likely, not registered, likely, people who vote regularly and will. Between October 11th and 20 carries a margin of 1.7 points. It showed Biden leading Trump 48 to 47. Apparently 48.7 to 46.3. Is that what we're doing? Hey, thanks. Hype train. Thanks for sharing, and thanks, Robert, for sharing emotes. That's fun. Not the first to show Biden with a lead in Texas, but it's by far the largest survey to show such a result. A public policy polling survey of 721 likely voters released earlier this month showed Biden leading 48 to 49. You mean 49 to 48? Okay. On Wednesday, a Quinnipiac University survey showed Biden and President Donald Trump in a dead heat in Texas, which, 1.7 is within the margin of error, of course. What did you say? Florida, 4.8 million have voted, 9.4 voted in total in 2016. Yeah, it's pretty extraordinary, although I will say that the vast majority of Florida voters are going to vote by mail. So, see, I get stuck in here with you guys, and we keep talking, and I like hanging with you guys, and there you go.
Hasn't been done in many, many decades, but we're doing great.
Yeah, please tell us again how you sniped, a victory out of 3 states with 70 some odd thousand votes. Because it's gonna happen exactly like that. It's gonna happen exactly. So this is he already done with this one?
Over a very short period of time. That's a
middle. There you go. What are the odds that I would randomly pick a moment near the end of the speech and he's going with in a very short period of time? Hey, Chairwit, thanks. Look at that, 1,000 bits. That's sweet. Woohoo!
Last nightmare. For the last 47 years, Joe Biden has been outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American.
Gibbity bobbity bing, bobbity foobity foo, and it's all like, while he's been doing this, you have been duh. It's just eat your heart out, MLK. Obama who? Ever since this, also this, why don't we do whippity doom doom?
Blood and treasure in endless foreign wars. We're bringing them back. 19 years. We're bringing them all back. They're coming back.
No, you're not. Send them to Saudi Arabia.
Except where we keep the oil. We're keeping some oil.
Yeah, we got to keep some oil. Yeah. I mean, it's not like, guys, it's not like oil is processed in incendiary plants that are a danger and are attacked regularly. And it's not like those processing plants and the oil rigs themselves aren't spread over vast areas in Afghanistan and Iraq and parts of Syria. I mean, it's not, it's like this. We need like 2 guys standing there chewing, we need, like Joe Flaherty and Caddyshack. We need 2 guys in a little stand with a, you guys aren't jihadis, are you? No. Are you here to take the oil? No. All right, well, yeah, come on in through. Yeah, it's fine. Just the 2 of us. We're not even armed.
Where we keep the oil, we're leaving a few In 2016,
Wait, we're keeping the oil, we're leaving the fumes? What the shit was that?
keeping some oil. Where we keep the oil, we're leaving a few. In
We're leaving the few. Oh, the few, the proud, the Marines? I see.
2016, Florida
We're leaving the few. The few.
voted to fire this depraved political establishment.
And again, I'm like, I don't know, like, what? Yeah.
He gets 183.
Did you see the tweet I tagged you in with Trump's reaction to Coke? No. But I will look at that right now. Hold on. What did he? Cocaine or the? Oh, I saw the Dr. G.Y. Jackson or whatever his name is. The thread he had. I posted it after you mentioned it yesterday. I posted it on my feed. He's just like crushed Adderall is just flying out of his nostrils. It's just this constant, just little flecks of white while he's talking at a press gaggle, and he's racked up noted. Oh, Joe's saying cocaine. I see. It mentions. I'll find it in there. Fun.
$1,000 a month to sit on a board. Well, he must have vast.
Yeah. Welcome to Wall Street, asshole. He looks happy. This guy looks excited. Oh, from the debate. I see. No. I think, wait. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. That's super funny. This is it. This is the thing that you sent me. Hold on. Look at this. Trump's eyes widen when Biden says cocaine.
I'm trying to change the sense, and particularly the portion on cocaine. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm trying to change the sense, and particularly.
Did somebody say dog treat? Sausages? I mean, that was basically what happened.
The portion on cocaine. That's
Sausages? Yeah. Oh, shit.
I've been trying to change the sense, and particularly the portion on cocaine. That's why.
Yeah. That's awesome. P.S. Biden leads it. But the internal polls are much better. This is a happy man. I mean, if you feel like if you're leading in all these places, why do you need to do 5 rallies a day? What kind of life is this? Sorry, I'm playing that other video.
Trying to change the sense, and particularly.
Energy knowledge. No, he doesn't know anything about energy. This young person right in the front row knows more.
This is a running gag. How are you? 3, you know more about energy than Hunter Biden. No, he was on the board of an investment firm that worked with the Ukrainian oil and gas company for years. I think it's fair to say that he can explain the process to you. Let me guess. There's mining and extraction, refining, and distribution. I'm going to go out on a limb and just say that, something even Eric Trump could figure out in a shorter order of time. Of course, you'd find him at the end sucking on the pipeline, but that's just, that's. I mean, am I missing something in the oil and gas extraction part of it? Let me guess. The first part's more dangerous than the second part, and the second part's more dangerous than the third part. And the third part is the most political part. The second part is the part where regulations come into the biggest factor as far as what the toluene and methane and all the other and benzene and all the stuff that they reverse the pumps and dump stuff back into them at the sites. When you get rid of the crap from there, you hide it in the dead wells, that kind of stuff. Am I missing any of that part? I mean, I'm just saying that Hunter Biden's an adult. And it's not like he smokes, weed. He allegedly, according to you and your deepfakes, smokes crack. So he's quick.
About energy than he does.
What do you know about energy? What do you know? Tell us. Tell us what you know about energy. What's the process like?
And
President, you know all these oil and gas people. You know all about it.
Biden says, we're not giving you $1 billion. We're not giving you the $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor that's investigating this company that my son's on.
Yeah, they weren't.
Unless you get rid of this
Yeah, why is he investigating the company that his son's on? Oh, because they're trying to actually make it legit, and the prosecutor himself works for Russia, and the whole thing is that he's trying to scuttle any legit business in Ukraine. Like, who doesn't know this shit by now?
prosecutor that's looking into my son.
As a lawyer,
And they
you
said,
don't
"What do
need
you
to be a
mean?
shoemaker
We're not
to give legal advice to a shoemaker." Excellent point.
giving you
You just gotta have soul. Sorry.
the $1 billion from the United States.
Yeah. Ask anybody in Congress if they wanted to give $1 billion to a Russian oligarch that would get funneled into the pockets of Putin. I mean, before. Now, obviously, you guys in your party.
And they get rid of the prosecutor. He goes, whoa, let them have the money. And that's
Is that, whoa, let them have the money. Is this, okay, considering the projection issue we have with this asshole, is this how we're, like, when he's high and he's sitting at the Resolute desk, this is how he responds to things? Whoa, let him have the money. Yeah.
okay. That's not okay.
No, it's not okay. It isn't? Why is it not okay?
It's not okay.
Yeah, yeah. Edibles for my family.
And there are many other instances.
You know what? We might have stumbled on something. This may very well be an edibles issue. I can imagine him hyped up on Adderall, blowing, Adderall all over the place, and his heart racing, and his son bringing edibles. You could absolutely, John Jr. giving him edibles to kind of calm him down, and the mixture of pain meds, his dexamethasone, his Adderall, and the edibles. That's him. That's what we're seeing.
This is corrupt and corruption like nobody's ever seen.
This is corrupt and corruption like no one's ever seen. No one's ever seen corrupt and corruption like this. I mean, except the entire Russian government, which you seem to not have a problem with, and you hung out over there, and your son. Okay, never mind. Is this the? So this is just like, lock him up is the free bird of deluded assholes. Yeah, he's drunk.
So I couldn't sit by and watch that. I couldn't sit by and watch these horrible trade deals that are ripping off America all the time. I couldn't sit back and watch China year after year after year
Selling a bunch of stuff through Walmart that literally makes up half of our trade deficit.
hundreds of
As Amazon started bringing other stuff in, and drop shipping became an expansion of that, so that the trade deficit had a lot to do with the Amazon sales industry becoming a part of people buying stuff from China, creating a store, and selling it in the United States, and getting rich doing that. Lots of entrepreneurs were doing this. They had to come in and stop that so that the rich ruling class doesn't create a new class of entrepreneurial billionaires and millionaires using that system. You had to come in and scuttle it and basically stop the drop shipping industry.
billions of dollars they made, and we have a much different
Selling shit. Wasn't a service.
attitude toward China now. Much different.
Yeah, sure.
They are
We're only going to sell them all of our corn, soybeans, and beef.
coming after me, a lot of people in Washington. By the way, nobody's ever gone through what I've gone through. No.
Kennedy and Lincoln might disagree. Garfield. I mean, there's a couple.
No president's ever gone through
Truman. He made a couple of rough decisions. He had a hard time.
this. No president.
Think Lyndon Johnson during the civil rights era when those bills were going through? Huh?
Anybody else would have gone
Nixon
into a corner,
and sucked his thumb and called for mommy.
sat down in the corner of a room, put their thumb in their mouth, and say, "Mommy, mommy, take me home, please, take me." Nobody's ever gone through a fake
Nobody's gone through.
impeachment based on a perfect phone call. The phone call was perfect.
Oh, God.
Based on a phony statement made by some people. Did you ever see Shifty Schiff get up in front of Congress and imitate
Dude, we are still litigating this bullshit? He entered your transcript that you gave into the public record. And then he read it aloud and interpreted it as he went along as being part of a RICO-like strong arm scheme. He paraphrased what you were saying to point out the truth of what you were saying. We dealt with this a long time ago. You were impeached over it.
My call, except it had nothing to do with my call. But
it had everything to do with your call. That was the point. We need, you know, the one person that was missing from the testifying was Rudy Giuliani. During the impeachment trial, they needed to call Rudy Giuliani to speak before Congress. Now, I know he's hiding behind attorney-client privilege, but he was working as an agent of the United States in speaking to some of these people.
at that time, they were already, that ship had sailed. But it was great.
Yeah, that ship had sailed. You mean the part where you actually, New York Times, Trump pocketed $123,000 from Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi? $123K? I had no idea he was such a cheap date. But Rudy was acting as a lobbyist for the United States, and by doing so, and going after information, that's why he hid behind, I was looking for things to defend my client. Well, if you're in a trial and the defense finds something, they have a responsibility to, to give discovery as well.
We went up. People appreciate what we go through, and people now see the corruption.
Yes, I appreciate what you go through. I like seeing you miserable.
In Washington, the corruption.
No, we cannot fire Rudy. It's his private attorney, although he's not being paid, so God knows where the money's coming.
In the media, because the media is just as corrupt as anybody.
He rented Gaddafi a tent when he was here to visit the UN years ago. Oh, I see.
Anybody on earth. And I would say that big tech is not distinguishing itself. I mean, they're not exactly doing so great.
They're not distinguishing themselves? Huh? What? Wait, what? Hold on.
Not distinguishing itself. I mean, they're not.
They're not squinging themselves.
Just as corrupt as anybody on earth.
Yeah, anybody on earth. Vladimir Putin, all the oligarchs, people who... Putin's chef, the guy who murders people for Putin. Like, Biden's worse than that. This whole cancer moonshot thing was just a cover. Odds that Biden wins, in my opinion, I will go 80-20. Biden.
And I would say that big tech is not distinguishing itself. I mean, they're not exactly doing so great in...
Yeah, that's the best words.
Making themselves look legit. How about...
No, they aren't. They should have broomed you off social media for lying a long time ago.
Tech. They don't want to put something on. They don't put it on. But you know what? Can I tell you what? People are wise to it. They're wise to it. They see what's happening.
Yeah, they're wise to it. And they're like, yeah, this looks a lot like the bullshit scandal from last time that didn't pay off. And I think I'd rather go look at cat videos.
So they're coming after me because I'm standing up for you?
Yeah, it's not me they're attacking for my crimes, my incompetence, and my bullshit. It's you. You're the criminals who are incompetent. I'm just, your bulletproof vest.
Standing up for this country. I'm standing up for the United States of America.
Dude, you're barely standing up at all. Like, you're going to be doing the last 3 of these a day in the ends of this campaign in a chair.
America, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
This is his, he's signing off. That's the way it is.
And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician,
oh shit,
it's because I'm not a politician. That's what you.
Yeah, you are.
And if I don't always play by the rules of Washington and the Washington establishment, and by the way, if I did, we would have lost a long time ago. It's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought harder than any president in the history of this country.
Boy, God.
Time in the Senate, long, long days, hours, nights, working to cut your Social Security. You don't know about that. And to cut your...
Wait, wait. Biden was working long hours to cut your Social Security? I am definitely not a smoker. This is true.
Joe Biden spent his entire time in the Senate, long, long days, hours, nights, working to cut your Social Security. You don't know about that. And to cut...
Why would we not know? If he spent long days, hours, if he was constantly... He's in Pensacola, Florida. He's basically trailblazing across... He's doing a bombing run across Florida to try and make up the fact that they're losing. And it's his only path to victory. So he has to hold on to Florida.
Your Medicare.
And at certain points, they're like, if we win Florida but we lose, I can turn that into something and be like the king of Florida from now on. That's the other end game. You know, since Epstein's dead.
People don't know about that. He denies it. He denied it.
Yeah, he was working long. I thought. Wait, Sleepy Joe was working long hours. What?
Last night. He denied it last night. So today.
Roy Cohn's rules: accuse the enemy of your own crimes. Never admit anything. Attack with as many distractions as possible. Yell over all objections. Okay. Donald Trump is handsome and funny, and no, this isn't working for me. I can't use Roy Cohn's rules.
I want to show you a second clip. You know, I'm into clips.
Yeah.
Well, they already played it.
Take a look.
Yeah. Have you been on the floor of the Senate?
Yeah. And watch the video.
Twice. I tried it the third time.
This is my happy place. Right now he's just posing for his nickel. We got to put you, Mr. President, we have to put you on a new 75-cent coin. Oh, new 75-cent coin. Yeah, there's the coins aren't big enough to hold your neck waddle.
And I tried it a fourth time.
Joe, let me repeat it again. I want you.
I love like watching and we're watching. It's so good.
Oh, what?
I mean, he's
including, in your judgment, cuts the Social Security. Okay.
Basically, they think they're bombing this across Florida, like seniors don't know.
Many, many times. I'm surprised. You can defend it or change your mind on it, but you can't.
Yeah, the greasy hair thing isn't. He does this thing. He does his own hair. And it's clear that whatever the stuff he uses, he does this, and then he does this thing, and then pulls it forward like the bill of a cap. So it comes from here, and it goes all the way across. But the Ford fender thing that he does is because he evenly puts the same amount of gel or whatever mousse or whatever he uses, whatever product from 1982 that he got, 1978 that he started using, Brill cream or something. And he takes, it's a comb over, but he does it by hand, and then they touch it up. Like you can tell. And but the part is so most of us would dollop, mix it, run through the other head, do this kind of thing, and toss your hair back and whatever. Like I coat mine to protect from flyaways currently because it's getting longer. But he'd take it and he'll like that, and then he's got like an equal amount in both hands, but there's not an equal amount of hair. So there's this one hand does all the stuff on this side, everything from the part over, which looks like a hatchet mark right now, and then they've been doing a hard comb over his bald spot lately and spraying it down so it doesn't fly up. And then they do this part and it squidges back, and then he sprays the whole thing and locks it down. Yeah, total Aqua Velva. Brill cream and Aqua Velva. And then, and by the way, Biden's people, I need to talk to you guys. You need to tighten his hair against his skull. It's fine. His hair is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But when it gets longer in the back, you need to cut it and bring it to the edge of his skull, and he'll look hip as hell. This is his end to it. See? Mm-hmm. He's so proud of himself.
So when I said last night he tried to cut Social Security, he said he didn't. Just like he said he never talked about fracking. Look at that. There it is. There it is.
There it is, the same clip used over and over and over again. I can't show the rest of it because it totally shits all over my argument. But notice if I take this yeah, I was wrapping up when you left. And I took 2 sentences and hammer those.
Thank you, Bernie. I appreciate it, Bernie. Thank you very much. Bernie Sanders, everybody. The great Bernie Sanders. As president, I will...
You know what I mean? Somebody told him, he went, who cut that? And they're like, that's one of Bernie's videos. You announced it as such. It was in your remarks.
Always protect your Medicare and...
And, he does a third one? They're all in Florida, right?
Amy Coney Barrett. Hey, she's popular. People love her. She did fantastically. They were trying to hit her.
And yeah, tell the story about the notepad and then forget it was a Republican again.
How bad did Kamala look going against Amy? Right? And by the way, Bobby Biden.
Not at all.
You saw that? How good? He beat the plague. He said, I did it because I want to vote for Trump. He's 91. What a great coach he is. Thank you, Bobby. I'm in your territory, Bobby. I want to say thank you very much. No, Bobby Biden. So he was really a hell of a coach. He won like 340 games. He
knows the list. This asshole does not watch sports. Sports is another like social gathering thing you can participate in to manipulate.
National championships. But, I didn't really know, but he said, no, he had it. He was very ill, and he beat it. And he said, the thing that makes me happiest, because I want to...
How come my cheers didn't show up on the screen? I don't know, John. I don't see them in my mini feed or whatever. But thank you. I don't know why I didn't see them. I don't know why I wouldn't. Thank you.
Vote on November 3rd for President Trump. How about that? Bobby Bell.
Yeah, but you shouldn't listen to Biden because he's old.
$2.5 trillion in the U.S. military, including $1.
Oh, God.
I'm wiped out by Michael. I think it was by Michael, right? And your governor didn't like that idea. He wasn't thrilled. I said, this is a great thing. We can make a fortune. No, I don't like it. So I said, all right, the heck with it. I then visited a general and a colonel, and we had all sorts of people, and they all wanted to be there. So we rebuilt it, and now it's thriving again, right? It's thriving again. Yeah.
You mean an unnecessary military base that the state budget is now responsible for caretaking and...
Dindo. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi.
Okay. So, yeah, it's more of the same. We're going to run the same speech. And my feeling is, and we'll see, but my feeling is that as he does multiple ones of these, you're going to see less, like, he'll go off script less, more and more, like by the end of the third one, he's basically just going to hit the teleprompter for, do a couple of side points, introduce different people, and that'll be that. Is this the where we were just? Yeah, that's the pencil. Sorry. Yeah, his. Is there another live one currently? No, he's not. He's going to do another one after this, I guess. The theory. Yipes. By the way, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting via Venmo, which is a new thing that we added that, and I was really on the fence about doing it, and it has shown up. Like, you guys have been fantastic. I'm definitely leaving right now, but I want to say that all the people who have been sending money via Venmo, I've decided, like, any of the money that comes to Venmo is to buy a new camera, not the one I stream with, but the one I shoot the sketches for Sexy Liberal, because I have artifacting problems that, because I use an old DSLR. I have an old Rebel, and when you try to do a green screen out of that, it has like, it's got like that kind of stuff all the time, which is fine when I'm streaming, but when I'm actually cutting, it's a nightmare. Partly it adds an extra 10 hours of editing to every single project. So and I appreciate that, Sangria. So that's what that's gonna go for. That I'm gonna save up for a camera through that. So I'm gonna slowly but surely. So when, I don't know how long that will take. It might be a little while. We might have to do 1 or 2 more sexy liberals before. But I mean, I'm not gonna wait until it's, I have enough for the whole thing entirely. But when I do it, I will have an unboxing and show you guys what we're gonna get, and what I'll be using to shoot sketches and all that kind of stuff for the sexy liberal stuff. So I appreciate that. I want to see your setup. Okay. I'll do a tour soon, because it's awful right now. It's a mess. So, I need to clean this whole place up. I just finished all my sketches, so I'm done. I don't know what I did. I pressed Venmo. Oh, well, I don't know. Sometimes if I don't wake up my, let's see, if I don't wake up my Apple Watch, I don't get the things there. But Mark, thank you for the Venmo on there. Appreciate it. And thanks for in the Patreon, folks. I gave a preview of one of the sketches that's up on Patreon. I'm going to continue to do more of that. I think I may have one sketch that I don't know if it got in time to get in the new show. So I will, if it doesn't make it, if they couldn't get it into the edit, what I'm going to do is I'll keep it and I'll clean it up and do a little more extra work on it, fidget with it in my own time and release it for you guys and start just posting those on Patreon as well. So, oh, good, Sonia. Yeah, you saw the preview on there. So, and thank you. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate that. Last night, I went to bed at 9 a.m. this morning. I went to bed at 6 a.m. yesterday and got up at 9. I slept 3 hours, and then I went back to editing and shooting and all that shit. And then I got up. I went to bed this morning at 9 a.m. At 6 a.m. this morning, I was dressed. Should I show you what I was dressed like? I think I did a picture of it. One. Grab it real quick. Yeah. This I shot. Hold on. I was doing this character at 6 a.m. this morning. And no, it is not an Abraham Lincoln sketch. I'm just saying. That's a country duo I now have that's in my repertoire called Bigly and Dumb. That's Big Lee. And Dumb's back here. So yeah. So at 6 a.m. this morning, that's what I was wearing and doing in my own living room with a giant green screen. Just it's thumbtacked to the ceiling. Yeah, he's doing a hoedown jump right there. That's also me. Yeah, burning the candle at both ends, trying to light the middle. That's what we do. Anyways, so I'm going to call it, I will see you, radios tomorrow, regular radio show, 9 a.m. So 9 to 11 Pacific time, for those of you that are following all over the world. The HalSparks radio program, mega worldwide. We're on every Saturday. And then we'll be streaming at all the regular places, of course. And then I normally do a post show, but I'm going to not do one tomorrow because we have Sexy Liberal and we have the cocktail hour before where we hang out with people who are waiting to see the show, and then we interact with them in the meet and greet afterwards. And so that kind of eats up my bandwidth for the day. So so full show tomorrow as far as the radio show, but no post show. I'll just sign off at the end of the show because I was wrecked after the last one. I slept all Sunday away and I'm still unpacking. So. So, and then more than likely there will be a Sunday stream as well, because he's going to be doing a bunch of these rallies. So I might do might go through them on my own and not stream them and do a best of. I know I like to do them all the way through or do one full one, but I might grab some moments, and just do a Sunday show, like a rap, something like that. You can still get tickets for sexyliberal.com for the Sexy Liberal comedy show. It's tomorrow night, and you can go to sexyliberal.com. And there's, I think there's tickets available. Like, there's a lot. I mean, it's digital, so regular tickets are always available, and you can watch it at any time after that. But live tomorrow, and then we have a hangover brunch meet and greet for the overflow from the meet and greet, because we can only do a certain number of people the next day on Sunday morning. So, yeah. But I will see you guys on the radio tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate it. I missed hanging out with you guys on Wednesday, and I was just under it. Phew. But take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. Smile. 12 more days. Vote. You got a plan for voting? Here, I have an idea, too. And think about this for the next stream, and I'll bring this up on the radio tomorrow. I may start giving out assignments to the chat for candidates and stuff like that we can all go tweet about and help. Tickets are, I think, $15, but just go to sexyliberal.com. That's out of my hands, but it's sexyliberal.com for that. Where we, where I'll go, hey guys, after the stream today or early tomorrow, please go online or make a phone call or phone bank or do all the things that you do for such and such. You know what I mean? Does that sound like a good idea? Since we have a group here and we all, are focused on trying to help. Maybe if I could find some stuff that you go, hey, this is one area where everybody can be helpful. And kind of, we'll all bring it together. Would that work? Think about that. Jamie Harrison needs some love. He does. He's got money. He just needs attention. So the thing about Jamie Harrison is not that he needs campaign funds. He needs people sharing his campaign stuff. So maybe that's the first one. So here's what I'd like everybody to do. If you would choose to or like to at all, go to Jamie Harrison's website or find him on Twitter. I follow him. It's fairly easy to do, or just simply Google it. If you're on the internet watching this, you know how to do all this stuff. Find some Jamie Harrison promo material that they have or whatever, and send it out. Send it out to your email list, or send it, people in your email from, family and friends or whatever. Send it to a friend. You're like, hey, I think my old college roommate lives in North Carolina, lives in Carolinas now, that kind of thing. Whatever it, just a little bit to move the ball further than just a donation. You can do that too. Yeah, MJ Hager, absolutely. And Mark Kelly. Well, I mean, I think that's something we can do every day, and I'll do the research and just bring something. Go, hey, here's what I did today. We did this. You guys can do this. And not a donation. Something material that you can do. Would be a good, might be a good thing. And then the other thing is, if any of you go to a rally, or for Biden or any of the the Democrats that are out there, send me a pic on Twitter. Tweet me a picture of you there. That would be really awesome. So, John Mahoney and Susan Collins' opponent, which I think is very telling, that we have to say Susan Collins' opponent and not her name. That's exactly the point I would try to work on. Anyway, so just think about that. I think it's a good idea. I'll see you tomorrow. But I think it could have tremendous value. At least we can help. Have a great night, everybody. Love you guys.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I love lamp.
Man's got to know his limitations.
I had a beat off.
You stay classy, San Diego.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
That was really cool, by the way.
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker!
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
Let me put it this way, Mr. Amer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
Like to kick his ass just for once.
I think there's some kind of deviated prevert.
Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil.
Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
Call me Snake.
Sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Voila.
Captain's log.
That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick. It's too heavy.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
I do it because I have, like, a good memory, because I'm cognitively there.
Yosemite, wildlife refuges. I mean, you look at this, you look at what we do with our wildlife. We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges. The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. You have nobody guarding your potatoes. Yosemites. They're not allowed to be offensive, unfortunately.
Something strange happened to me this morning. Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?